It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile upon the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of a god,
So it's decided we're doing Alan's
and
game instead,
master of a
right?
million words by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, so that he may never truly die. Yet, even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his warriors are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard, and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few. But, for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat from aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live under the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearnt. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods. Now I'm going to have an immediate pause because I'm getting some feedback and I don't know who it's from.
The gods.
It could be the gods or it could be Jonathan and his machine code. I can't see anyone else getting the green light though.
I heard it a couple of times, but I couldn't see who it was coming from either.
Or maybe it's me. I maybe turn down my settings. It might be on me then. Let me try turning that down a bit. Test. How are we sounding? Does that sound alright?
Yeah.
Test. Yeah, okay. I'll try again. We lost Hayden already. He can't stand to listen to that intro because he's listened to it a million.
I thought computers just automatically noise cancel. But...
Yeah, I don't know. I suspect my instincts go towards Jonathan. I thought, the machine code, the scrap code, it's back.
No, it's not me.
It's always you, Jonathan. Any sort of tech heresy, it's always you. Okay, I don't hear it now, but it might be Hayden because he has his phone and computer set maybe, and I don't hear it now that he's not here. So anyway, I'll press on. This tale, our tale, takes us to the edge of explored space, beyond the Calexis sector, beyond the politics and intrigues of the Tricorn Palace on the capital world of Scintilla, beyond the world of Iacanthos, a world under siege, a world surrounded by the fleet of the black ships, beyond the world of Desolium, where the dead stir in the depths. Here, at the very edge of Imperial space, lies the Coronis Passage. Pause for John.
Hey!
Also known as the Maw, the only remotely feasible route through the perilous warp stores that form the border of the sector towards the Halo stars. The passage is fraught with danger, but some
Oh.
bold captains take the risk to enter and exploit the wonders that await them. For on the far side, know your audience. For on the far side is the coronous expanse, beyond the sacred light of the Astronomicon. This untamed, dangerous region of space holds all manner of rogues and vagabonds, xenos and human alike, who seek to enrich themselves outside the boundaries of imperial control. It is Inquisitor Lucius Alexander who takes his flagship, the Emperor's Grace, once more into the expanse. His ancestors were rogue traders, holding the imperial warrant of trade, and they have ventured forth and charted new sectors again and again. Each time they bring back a bounty of rare goods, archaeotech, luxuries. 5 generations of House Alexander have enriched their house and the Imperium as a whole, starting with Nefaliak Alexander, more commonly called Old Man Alexander. It was Old Man Alexander who ventured into the expanse with 1 ship and returned with 2. The Emperor's Grace is a warship like no other, and has changed the trajectory of House Alexander's fortune. Rival houses and even the Inquisition looked upon the craft with raw envy. Such was this desire that the Inquisition forced his great-grandson Dmitri Alexander to give up his only son, Lucius, to be trained into the Holy Ordos, while assimilating both their riches and their flagship. However, there are many who serve upon the Emperor's Grace, who look upon the ship with nothing less than fear. Some say that the ship is cursed, haunted by malignant spirits and the ghosts of the dead. Laughter and discordant music is sometimes heard in the small hours, echoing through the ventilation shafts. Sometimes chanting. Sometimes screams. The ship is fickle, cruel, and always watching, always listening. Some think of the ship as more than a machine spirit, more as a living embodiment of power and force, as a goddess. Some are devoted and fanatical in their defense and worship of her, and others are scared, fearful, feeling that they are being hunted. And they are. It isn't safe to go near the airlocks. You learn that quickly on board the ship. And you also soon learn its true name. Malevolence. Most agree that the ship hates to be called the Emperor's Grace. Sailors have always been a superstitious lot, and those who sail the stars are no different. You cannot ignore the pattern. It is best not to curse yourself by misnaming the ship. The malevolence skirts along the edges of known space as she travels to a distant corner of the expanse. She travels towards the miasma, a colloquial name for a stable warp rift, a mirror in many ways to the Eye of Terror, thousands of light years away. Dangerous place, a focus point for corruption and evil. The butcher's place. He travels to the miasma. Across 5 generations, House Alexander has returned again and again here. But the riches of trade and conquest was never their true mission. Over lifetimes, they have accumulated 4 paintings created by the erratic savant Erroneous Gelt. The last painting in this set, The Heart, awaits them on the planet Orpheus 4, a backwater but charming swamp world, seeped in the corruption of the warp. The last time that Lucius had been here, seeking the painting, his mission had gone wrong, badly wrong, sabotaged by his rival and nemesis, Inquisitor Morland Spinebreaker. Lucius had been forced to retreat with his tail between his legs to repair and resupply back at Scintilla. Spinebreaker hates Lucius with a passion bordering upon obsession. Lucius has taken something from him, something beyond value. He could never be forgiven. Spinebreaker was convinced, through years of hounding investigations and pursuit, he was certain that Lucius was a heretic, a traitor, that his ship and he served the arch-enemy of mankind. Spinebreaker had sworn to bring him down. He had called upon his fellow Inquisitors to chasten and excommunicate Lucius in his house. He was rejected and quite mercilessly mocked. Staying at the Tricorn Palace became untenable. But, despite being rebuffed by High Lord Inquisitor Caden, Spinebreaker had found other sympathetic allies closer to Holy Terror. At Saturn, the procognators of the Grey Knights had foreseen omens surrounding the malevolence and the 5 paintings. They had seen the threat. Spinebreaker had left Saturn with Grey Knights and an ancient vessel known as the Holocaust. Although no direct match for Lucius, this ship was agile and capable of foiling the most sensitive of auger arrays. No battle can be considered truly lost when you have the Grey Knights as your allies. The malevolence travels to the miasma for the last time. She does not know that she is being followed closely by her rival ship. Spinebreaker hounds his hated foe across the eternity of space. He devotes his life and the lives of his men to bring Lucius down. At any cost. There is nothing that he will not sacrifice. Spinebreaker waits, and he listens. He is nothing if not patient. He has agents upon the ship already. It is easy to embed men upon Lucius's crew, for his rival is forced to go begging for scraps amongst his peers, for supplies and for manpower. There are a legion of opportunities to infiltrate his ship, and Spinebreaker has taken them. Spinebreaker knows what Lucius seeks. He has agents upon the swamp world already, for he has left his right-hand man upon the cursed Orpheus 4. Spinebreaker must take the paintings for himself. Interrogator James Johnson, also known as Deadeye James Johnson, makes a life for himself in a backwater town and establishes his power base and allies. Despite the corrupting influence of the warp rift, James is untouched by malignancy or mutation. For corruption is as much of the soul as it is of the flesh, and James Johnson is untouched by it. Mostly. He waits for Spinebreaker's return. He knows that he has not been abandoned here. Lucius was forced to go begging for scraps amongst his so-called inquisitorial allies. He needed men, acolytes, stormtroopers, promethium, ammunition and ordnance. But he had wealth and rarities to trade. But he was always forced to pay the highest price, as it was never long before he was away again onto the next campaign. Inquisitor Globus vast web of acolytes. He supplied new recruits, leavings mostly. Spinebreaker waited until Lucius was in high orbit of Orpheus 4 and had deployed his assets to the ground. He took on board the latest intelligence reports from the shipboard agents, and then he left the system further riftward towards the worlds of the Red Orcs. L-53 were forged in the crucible of Orpheus 4. To begin, they were little more than rank amateurs, poorly equipped, inexperienced, foolish. They were tasked with infiltrating Port Chula, locating the missing painting, and reporting its location back. They set up as mercenaries and crocodile hunters. On the whole, they fell upon their feet. They survived train robberies, ancient crocodiles, and the local moonshine. They made do with what few resources were available to them. There were 4 members of Cell 53. Arnold Stormsinger, Fenrisian, slow to befriend but utterly loyal once he considered you his ally. Dangerous in combat and adept out of it. Compared to his allies, he was well armed and armoured, well trained. He was built for combat. Alexa 5.0, tech priestess, strangely distant and alien. She'd taken a head wound, and much of her cerebral functions had been replaced by an advanced cogitator system. Alexa ensured that she stayed competitive on-world by manufacturing a heavy harpoon cannon from local scrap. Yarn, Shaman of Dusk, a feral world not dissimilar to the corrupted world he now stood upon. Strong of spirit and well placed to resist the darkness both in himself and as he saw developing in his comrades. Yarn would become to be known as the Shepherd of Souls, for in this lost place he was a shining star, one who had the chance to stem the corruption inherent. It was Yarn who foresaw where the painting was kept, on an immobile naval battleship that had grew into a thriving settlement. His prescience became uncanny upon this world. And Quintius Tarquinius Thespis III. Oh, Quintius. This once actor seemed the least prepared for combat operations, and in some ways he seemed hopelessly naive. But both Globus and Lucius saw potential there. For anyone who had the skill, the technique, and the bravery or foolishness to infiltrate a prescribed cult and bring it down from the inside, well, that had to count for something. Cell 53, they did okay. And here is where it all gets a little hazy. The swamp world is baked in the corruption of the warp rift. Time and colour, shape and fate, it is all different here. It is all askew. The corruption of the miasma is paramount. Did it all really happen? A horse chopped in half by a broadsword? The laughing monk, an idol of gold, open worship of Nurgle. Old Gumbo and his webbed feet. Demon whores and high-stakes poker in the honeypot. Yarn foreseeing his own death. Terrible, terrible scrap code, abrasive to the ears. I can't forget it. It is still here. It's still with us. Rescuing a cat monkey from an automated incinerator. An axe. A demon axe. A decapitated crocodile. Skulls taken. Blood for the blood god. The meta sandwich. Cotton Eye Joe and exquisite shoes. Did it really happen? Did it really happen? Was any of it real? Are any of you real? It's quite hard to believe in this reality. Did Alexa really disengage the alarm systems ringing in her cogitator mind? They were warning her not to go out onto the open water, dressed in her heavy armour and bedecked in cybernetic implants, before she promptly fell into the crocodile-infested river. Ridiculous. It is all askew. Cell 53, they did okay. Their mission crept forward. As they returned to the ship and debrief and update Lucius on their progress, red alert was sounded. Spinebreaker had not been idle. He had goaded the orcs. They were easy to bait, and the red orcs were more bloodthirsty than most. He drew 2 of their ships towards the Malevolence and precipitated an engagement. It was here that Alexa first melded with the ship. Her eyes dilated. Alexa became the Malevolence. Alexa here first opened the airlock doors and vented her allies onto space, along with her enemies. It would not be the first time she would Arnold took more skulls and became the flayer of men. He also took a 6-toed foot as a trophy. Yarn slew the gang lord Reptile Marino, ending his long life and breaking the power of his dynasty. Quintius captured a high-ranking captive Lim Marino, and Cell 53 fled the family's territory. They evaded pursuit and were extracted by Ash and his men. Cell 53 had decapitated the family, metaphorically and literally. Lim Marino was promptly and efficiently interrogated by Jagannatha. He told him everything. He sung like a canary. Lim confirmed the location of the painting. Yarn had foreseen it. He was right. Yarn was always right. Lucius unleashed his orbital assault upon the primitive world. It was brutally one-sided conflict. The attack was spearheaded by the acolytes, and they recovered the painting. They were victorious, and the family's power was broken forever. Now the malevolence flies homeward towards Ridge Station, a trading post where they could prepare for the upcoming campaign. They fled the incoming ships of the Butcher King, whose plague fleet rushed back to defend Orpheus 4 and retaliate against the Orcs. The Orpheans had paid tribute to the Butcher, and until now had enjoyed peace and security in this hostile place. The Butcher King had failed to protect them. Again, it all gets a little hazy, weird. It's all askew. Yarn, judge, jury, executioner. He pronounced Eric Icebreaker heretic and crushed him. He convinced Arnold to give up Phobos, the demon axe, willingly, and perhaps in the process save Arnold's immortal soul. A flight through an asteroid field. Needless critical damage to the ship. Folly. A hunt for Spinebreaker's infiltrators. Alexa running at 85% efficiency for what seemed like an eternity. Mutant slaves and a manservant. Arnold's Bayou boot camp and a teasmade service. Flaky John Cobb. Was any of it real? Engineers. Greasy, degenerate, mutated. Surely proof that this was a ship of chaos. They worshipped the ship and, by proxy, Alexa. Did it really happen? Was any of it real? Did Quintius really impersonate a woman and seduce a mutineer, uncovering a conspiracy to sabotage the port broadsides? Did he really kiss and fondle in a toilet with Derek Schneider until Derek realised that these were the wrong trousers? It doesn't seem real. Did Cell 53 really torture and break Schneider with a tray of Horace Horatio Butterfield's finest scones? It's all sideways.
How about that? Try a scone.
And we haven't even spoke of Cell 54, a combined special unit of mutants and the insane being forged by Nixius Roth, a unit of bootleggers. But we haven't time for that. We've wasted too much time. There's been too much indulgence. Previously on Darkest Heresy, episode 49, An Eye for an Eye. There will be a retaliation. Cell 53 had struck a grievous wound to the plans of Morland Spinebreaker, the fundamental inquisitor of the mono-dominant faction, whom had infiltrated a number of his agents on board, by means as yet unknown. This nest of traitors were emplaced around the port macro cannon broadside batteries. Their plan was to sabotage the gun emplacements and open up a vulnerability in the Malevolence's defensive array. But there had been a counter-infiltration, facilitated by the entirety of Cell 53, but spearheaded by Quintius Tarquinius Vespus III, who, finally, had come into his own. Derek Schneider had been broken by a variety of means. He had been broken by the gentle attentions of Arnold, by Sconecraft. He had been broken by the Book of Lies. His spirit, and perhaps his very soul, was forfeit. He had given away the names of his companions who had been rounded up by ship security, all except for the one known as Growler, who had managed to slip the net. The interrogation had been worth the wait, at least I like to think.
I'll be a woman.
Only a few other people knew of this counter-infiltration beside Lucius and Cell 53. Yoshi Kubo, Aaron Mattis, Yuki Gleeflesh, Nathaniel Blake, Jagannatha, and a handful of Inquisitorial Guard. Oh, and Jeeves. Jeeves must have known. It was Jeeves who had tried to get the blood out of the tiles. Jeeves always tried to clean up the mess. Cell 53 had returned to their chamber to find a mess prevalent. Kara had caused a state. She was covered in some sticky white liquid and fragments of foam from Quintius's pillow. The white, spongy Plastech had gotten everywhere, and Kara herself had seemed distraught, mewing and ooking sadly. Jeeves was trying to clear up the mess. Jeeves was dispatched to get a replacement pillow, and whilst he was gone, the doorbell went. There was a squad of stormtroopers outside. They said they had a report on a development in the port gunnery section. They said that they had been sent by Mattis. The stormtroopers were dressed in full battle gear, and one of them was kitted out for crowd control. They asked to come inside. Quintius was at the door, and he seemed to be mulling this over. Arnold's combat senses kicked into overdrive. Arnold's paranoia turned out to be justified. The Fenrisian had been raised upon a hostile, dangerous world where rival tribes raided one another for control of the scant resources needed for survival in such an inhospitable climate. No one is to be trusted on such a feral world. Arnold had faced down dread creatures of land and sea, and he had been trained in the doctrine of the Imperial Guard. He had fought off Orc warriors who had boarded the Malevolence, and he had been in the vanguard of the orbital assault on Orpheus IV. He had wielded the demon axe then. He shoved Quintius out of the way and moved to block the door. Alexa walked out from the shower, dressed in just a towel. Time seemed to slow. Something was wrong here. There was a tension in the air. It was retaliation. An eye for an eye. Vengeance for Derek Schneider. In the close confines of the crew quarters and corridor, it was a brutal stalemate. Pump-action shotguns blasted, but somehow inexplicably seemed to miss their mark. Arnold tried to grab one of the traitors, but the stormtrooper slipped away. Yarn's psychic powers, normally so efficient, seemed to struggle with Stormtrooper's carapace. Alexa ran towards her gear, the towel falling, floating behind her. Pause for Johnny. She pulled out the newly upgraded, optimized machine gun and set it in position.
On the bed, I can remember.
Alexa braced. Quintius too seemed to struggle with the stormtrooper's carapace. His auto pistol was a work of art, but it seemed to lack the raw punch that was required here. But Quintius made himself useful in other ways. He called for backup from Mattis and Jagannatha. Arnold held the door. Arnold had been taking on many roles on board the Malevolence. Morale officer, infantry trainer, recruiter of Orpheans, food distributor. It had been so long since he had fulfilled his primary function, that of a soldier. It had been so long since there was any combat whatsoever. 2 full weeks. The final darkness, a masterwork weapon crafted over the course of weeks by Alexa, roared into action. And when the great axe landed, nothing seemed to stand before it. Arnold held the door. The stormtroopers started to fall, and as Alexa readied her machine gun, Arnold ducked back, dodging another shotgun blast. Alexa's machine gun roared into action, and the thud, thud, thud of the stubber round slammed over and over again into one of the traitors. It was over quickly. The stormtroopers didn't really stand a chance. Aaron Mattis was quickly on the scene with a squad. His response time was fast, very fast. Quintius had a cunning plan. He could use this chaos to his advantage. A ruse developed in his mind as the adrenaline flushed through him. He could fake his own death. Only Aaron and a few others knew he was still alive. Derek Schneider had warned that there was a mole high up in the Inquisitor's command staff, or perhaps one of his other acolytes. The rapid retaliation by the traitors had proven this point. Quintius declared that they would continue to lay false trails of information and deduce the traitor by what falsehoods were acted upon. A complex strategy. Quintius called a command meeting in the toilet. What's for Johnny? But wasn't Quintius needed to act as someone watching fucking Emmerdale while this? I'm doing my bit, guys. Who's got the telly on? But wasn't Quintius needed to act? wasn't Quintius needed to act as rogue trader in the mission to Ridge Station? This critical, campaign-defining action. The purchases at Ridge Station would shape the things to come. Quintius and Nixius, they had to be there, right? Was now the time to fake one's death? Yarn's prescience had detected something amiss. Following a faint humming, he discovered a small servo skull hovering in the corner of the room. Alexa linked with the device and realized that it was the ship. It was the Malevolence. It was Mother. She was watching. She was keeping an eye upon her daughter. How long had the skull been there? What had it seen? What does Mother know? We start the game in Cell 53's personal chamber. It is a scene of damage and violence. Blood is everywhere. The final darkness is not a weapon that kills cleanly. There is so much blood. But also there but also there
Effective.
but also there is evidence of some other affray. A white, sticky smear of plastic and some unidentified chemical spreads half the room at least. It seems that Kara, the cat monkey, the cat monkey, had gotten into one of the pillows and had tracked debris and mess everywhere. Kara sits dejected in one of the cubicles, trying to clean herself and making strange, shrieking noises. There is more blood in the showers. There's a strange, thick smell in there. For it was there that Derek Schneider was tortured and killed, and his death still leaves a haunting presence, both physical and psychic. Strangely, it is almost as if he is still here. It is as if he has never left us. Sorry. His body was taken by Arnold, folded up and hidden in the trolley that brought him here. Pause for James. Pause for Brownie.
Multi-purpose tool.
Oh, shit, man.
There's a got some use out of that trolley.
MVP.
Right? Oh, dear me. Schneider was consigned, like so many others, to the automated incinerators. His body's last act was to provide some recycled energy to the ship.
Yay!
Mattis and his men took care of the traitors' bodies. A clean-up crew is on the way. Cleaning servitors are here already. Mattis has the corpses in hand. Quintius, you had told Mattis to spread the tale of your death, and you had thought to also lay false trails and try and sniff out the mole within Lucius's command staff. It's not a bad idea, but what of a trade mission? Is it folly to fake one's death, or genius? Only a handful would know that you truly live. Mattis, Lucius, a few stormtroopers, Cell 53, and Jeeves. How will others feel on the ship when they think that you are dead? It's time for you to make a decision.
Is Mathis still
Okay.
there?
I'll put you on the map first, and then we'll make a start properly. And just give me one moment. I'll get right to it.
Before we make a start,
No.
I'd like to point out that as you were reading the recap of last session, I found the notes that I made in the last session, which are some of the most coherent notes I've ever made. They make a lot of sense. And then there's a point where it says, I went back to session 47, which was the interrogation scene, and it says scone bonus. And then underneath it says sconus. So I don't know where my mind went there.
Honestly, I think it may be the highlight of my whole campaign is the amount of repetitious jokes I've got out of the word scone.
The driest scone was fantastic.
There's been a lot of legs. There's been a lot of legs on that. There's been a lot of legs. So, but it's still working now. It's still getting the chuckles in. So
It also says further down the page, scone football. I don't know what that's all about.
I'm pleased. I'm pleased. My scone torture has given us.
It also says on the same page, Alexa fucked me over again.
Can't help it.
okay.
Just below okay. Sorry.
No, you're not. Right.
Okay, has that worked?
It was all for science. It was all in name of science.
Yeah, that's worked out. I can see the map.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. So I put you onto the map. So there's the four of you. in the command toilet. Mattis, he's left. He's left one of his stormtroopers, but he can't have got far. He can't, he can't be too far away. There's a couple of servitors who have always arrived, so we're starting today's game approximately, let's say, 5-10 minutes after the last game, ended. It's near enough very fluid, so hasn't been too long that has passed since then.
Uh-huh.
So, Yarn, you've still got this servo skull. So you're in the toilet now, and you've listened to me talk for long enough, guys. So it's over to you. Let me know. Just go ahead for
Arnold
it.
straight away is going
over
to
to you
bang the
guys.
shower head on in the toilet.
Okay.
I thought we'd
Just
let
like the
Jeeves
shower head.
clean up.
No, Jeeves
And
got dismissed. Jeeves has been dismissed for the evening. But yeah, so he brought the pillow back. The luxurious pillow. The smells has a intoxicating scent on it. It's now on Quintius's bed. But Jeeves was dismissed for the evening, or for the rest of the evening. So yeah, and it's monotask servitors that are starting to clean up this.
I still have the. Oh no, it's all the. This is from all the.
Dressed.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to
Okay.
do the same.
So the mess is from all the stormtroopers then.
Yeah. So Jeeves
Right.
was actually cleaning the mess from Derek Schneider, but that's a long-term job. He was trying to get the mess out of tiles, but it was not an easy job. So, but yeah, so you've got two separate messes. One of them is from Torture Schneider, and the second one is from this last combat.
And there's
So
also
you're turning on the shower.
all the Plastech bits and pieces and that from the pillow.
Yeah. That's right. The white sticky substance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. As I'm getting my quick shower, I'm going to turn in the corner so there's no danger to anybody. Stand up with what's my chainsaw? My death axe.
Final Darkness.
Final Darkness, yes. Oh, perfect. I'm going to lift Final Darkness up and rev it under the shower to get all the blood out of its teeth as well, to give it a good clean. And then come out the shower and get dressed into something no one's ever seen me wear before. It's a pair of everyday tracksuit bottoms, like
You don't have tracky bombs. You're not 40k chav, then. I'm gonna.
40k chav. Oh well.
No, you don't have
Elysium
Adidas stripes. You don't have
furry
Adidas stripes,
tracksuit
mate.
bottoms.
It's like a Catholic tracksuit, but with like Imperial
Elysium
Eagles on it.
furry tracksuit
Sure, they have
bottoms. There we go.
tracksuits 40,000 years in the future.
Yeah,
Got Imperial Eagles on it.
It's got skin on the outside, but the inside are furry.
Okay, so you're wearing you want to go back to your kind of feral sort of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my feral ice dress on because of my normal clothes are like need washing and stuff.
Alexis, you could take a like almost PVC bodysuit and just put that on really tight.
I mean, you're Alexa's starting the game still, but naked.
Yeah, she's gonna get a jumpsuit out. She's gonna get a jumpsuit out. Put on a onesie almost.
What's Jan and Quintus doing while Arnold's having a shower and Alexa is getting dressed? So because you've just had a shower prior. So what about?
Did you do a shower crash for you, Alexa?
No, he had a shower in the last game.
No.
He came out of the shower.
The violence starting, and then perched the heavy stubber on the bed while still in the raw, whilst the guy was falling down, and then started firing a heavy stubber completely buff.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's how she rolls. Completely oblivious of how she must look.
It's all right. No, there was no shower crashing. That's good.
No, not this time.
Okay, so what's Jan and Quintus doing while Arnold's showering and Johnny's getting herself dressed? What about you two? Have you got anything you'd like to do? I mean, it's getting towards the end of the evening, so it's like the end of the last day of power play, which you've already done. So there's not much to be done. But if you want to chat, or if there's anything you'd like to do that doesn't involve any kind of major action, let's say.
I will. I'll do a couple of things actually. First of all, I'm going to Vox Interrogator Mathis.
Mathis goes, "Hey, are you coming in loud and clear?" Quintius.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely splendid. You know what, Interrogator? That whole scheme I had about faking my own death, I've had a rethink. I'm not going to bother doing that. It sounds like a lot of hard work. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's no bother. I've not told anyone yet. But you want to get the mole, don't you? You want to catch him.
Oh,
I can tell that.
I'll find him. I don't worry. I've got some other ideas, and I'm sure you have too, about how to catch this bugger, if you'll excuse the language.
Aye, fucking traitor. He'll get what's coming to him. Don't you worry about that. He'll have an appointment with the outside of the ship. You mark my words.
Sounds absolutely delightful. I hope I'm there for it the day it happens.
Aye. Well, I want to support you in this, Quintius. And I tell you, I think I know who it is.
Do you now?
I think I know who it is. I think I can tell ye. I mean, I've already told the Inquisitor mind, and he doesn't. Well, you know the Inquisitor. He doesn't always act as you might expect. But he told me not to worry about it. But I think I know who it is. I'm sure of it. And I trust my gut. Hey.
Yes. I mean, one should always go with one's gut. First impressions of people, in a general sense. And when it comes to traitors, people like you and me, Interrogator, we should trust our gut in all things. So tell me, why do you think it's Jagannatha?
No, laddie, you misunderstood. It's Jagannatha. You can trust him. He's loyal. He's as loyal as any of us. I tell you who it is. It's not Jagannatha. It's Nathaniel, that wee little shite of an adept. I'm sure it's him, the one with a fucking stutter.
Ah, yes. Never trust a man who can't pronounce his P's properly without stumbling over them once or twice. Yes.
Aye, you can't trust anyone who can't fucking talk, can't get the words out of his fucking mouth, the wee shite.
Yes. Terrible affliction, but also, why are they stuttering? Is it because they're ashamed of what they're saying? Must be fear. I mean, I've never stuttered in my life because I'm a trustworthy soul. But you mark my words, Interrogator. I shall get to the bottom of this whole business regarding a traitor. And if it is indeed Nathaniel, he shall feel my wrath. Oh, yes, the most wrathful I shall be. You won't believe it. It'll be wrath coming out of every orifice all at once.
Aye, that's good to hear. And if you need anything to support you, to get this fucking traitor in our midst and prove it's him. But mark my words, it's just too easy. He's one of the newer ones, and we needed one of these smart, adept, nerdy, genius types, and he happened to be there on a platter for it. It's too convenient.
Yes, I see. So you're offering resources, supplies, equipment to help catch this traitor. Is that my understanding?
If you need help, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. But I'm well placed to assist you with what you might need.
Excellent. I do need things. I definitely need things. But I'll get back to you on that. Unless you happen to have a decent weapon I could use, because the pistol I have, by jolly, it's so beautiful, and it reminds me very, very much of my dearest Mumsy, but quite frankly, it's a bit shit.
I understand what you need, and you've definitely reached the point where you need a bigger gun.
Everyone needs a bigger gun, yeah.
I recommend plasma. It's my weapon. Just don't. That's the way to go. But what I suggest to you,
Sounds
I think, Ridge Station's coming up shortly, and you and Nixius will be in charge of the trade mission. You'll have all the resources of the ship, all the money that we have available. Surely you can buy yourself a decent gun.
What, with the Inquisitor's money? I mean, you shouldn't give me, unfettered access to the Inquisitor's funds. I've had such privilege put upon me before, and I can't be trusted with it.
I mean, Lucius was very clear that you and Nixios were to lead the trade expedition. The Master of Coin, Cassandor, he's not been well these last few years. He's been making mistakes. In fact, if I can be honest here, and he lowers his voice somewhat, he goes, he's a fucking liability.
Oh, that's
and the Inquisitor insists that it has to be you and Nixius. I don't know why, but you know how he is. He has these, plans and vision. Yes, and and he is the Inquisitor. He must be obeyed. So
yes.
Why don't you just buy yourself a gun with all that money?
I think I will. Now I've basically been given permission to go crazy. Woohoo! Las Cannon, here I come. I'm joking.
Now,
of course I would.
Now, I need to insist now that we are here. The campaign is very important, mind. You are laying the foundations for the rest of the campaign. If you blow all your money on weapons, I mean, even the finest weapons, I mean, that'd be useful. But think of the ship, Quintius. Don't just spaff it all up the wall.
No, I mean, I'm not one for spaffing.
Don't just.
I'm not one for spaffing willy-nilly. Interrogator.
Can I finish my shower and walk through this point in time and just say, buy fish before I go and get dressed in my furs?
That feels a little bit of a meta shower.
Buy fish.
Meta shower. Well, I also, I just want to give you some information that you've already bought a lot of fish with the Inquisitor's money. In fact, I'll go and check.
I don't know that.
I'm going to go and check how many. You do know that in character. You have handed out fish as the food distributor. I'm going to tell you how many tons of fish we have.
Lots.
There's an exact number here. It's in the record. There's a record of the fish. So we have 1,000. We have 100, and well, there has been some evidence of discrepancies in some of the fish. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. But anyway, you've got 104 tons of salt.
I think I read the rebate actually.
For Morpheus 4. That's a lot of fish. You've also bought hides and furs. This was done a long, long time ago. It was Nixius, I think it was Nixius and Quintius who made those decisions on trade. So you have a number of resources already that you bought on the planet, including also the slaves. That was another thing that you bought. So you've already started spending the Inquisitor's money, and obviously you can then sell
wisely.
Very wisely. We didn't frivolously buy anything stupid.
You wouldn't
do a giant brain in a jar.
That's a very
good call.
I didn't mention that in the recap, but I think I should have, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
The big creature, yeah.
That's something I mean. There was almost too much to go at the fucking.
There was, yeah.
I was also fucking gassing for about an hour, and I thought, I'm probably putting Hayden under at this minute.
He's still with us. He's doing all right.
Still there.
But yeah, sorry, I just needed to be indulged. I got a bit of envy from Dave. Dave, the other day, he did this lovely throwback, and it was just showed, the kind of history of the campaign, I suppose, and it was nice. And I thought, I want a piece of that pie. I want to go. So it felt good to just do because some of the stuff we've done has been years and years in the past, literally, in our real life, right? So, and a lot of time we were pissed while we were doing it. So it's nice to be reminded.
It's too ridiculous. Some of it's too ridiculous not to mention again, which is
preposterous.
Why I'm glad I did. It is preposterous.
So, just hold 1 second, Quintius. So, it's quite a bit of I just want to check what Jan was doing at this point, at the very start. So, Quintius is off chatting. They're getting Hayden's getting washed and dressed, and Alexa getting dressed. Were you doing anything in particular? Are you in that time, or did you want to just path instead?
Well, I think we want to know who the traitor is, don't we? So we need some kind of soothsay.
Soothsayer.
Yeah.
So James gonna go right back to his familiar territory, which is soothsayer. Okay, so James will start setting up the ritual in the corner, and okay. Oh, and one other thing, James, I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not, but I was going to do a bit of a U-turn in the rules that I've employed. So I think before I kind of nerfed lucky spam a bit and said not to do it. I'm just going to U-turn on that and just let you go back to spamming it, and you're going to repay me in kind by having quick turns and just and doing me a favour as well, aren't you, James?
Let's not make any promises we can't keep.
Look at his face, Alan. He's got no intention of doing that.
if we
I think
can,
I've been quite good in D&D at making wiser choices.
sorry, I just had something lodged in my I'm getting it now. So anyway, coming back to you, Quinty. Sorry to interrupt you there, but we can go back on the card. I just wanted to make sure James was going to set up the soothsaying.
Yeah, it's fine.
So come back to.
There's lots of blood of traitors
Yeah.
around, and I think I'll draw some kind of circle around me in the blood of traitors.
Yeah, that's suitably chaotic. I like it.
And
what the Emperor would want, I think.
dusk. It's not necessarily chaotic. It's dusk.
Yeah.
Slightly chaotic.
Yeah.
Circle of blood.
Blood of the traitor.
Ritual.
Let them.
Ritual to skip the plot. There we go. Very good. And so anyway,
Just give us a hint.
I'll
You have to skip anything.
I'll make something up on the fly, just like I always say. So,
There's only one man responsible for revealing the painting and its location, and that's you, Mr. Connell.
I believe that was because you got a fucking critical one, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
You have to reward the critical one in that instance, I think. So
critical one doesn't mean you squeal like a canary.
I kind of like what I did there, and I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't happy
and it didn't really impact anything.
I felt. I don't think. Yeah, it didn't stop me from carrying on the rest of the kind of. So
we were nowhere near ready at the time. We were nowhere near ready, anywhere near ready to actually approach it either. So
you couldn't really do anything with information anyway, and then when you told Lucius, I got you to go back and check anyway. So I kind of got to almost nullify it in a sense. You know what I mean? But I still got to give you that key bit of information, which was correct because you rolled a natural one, and overall I wasn't unhappy with that. So. Anyway, coming back to Quintius and his core Mattis. So Mattis has basically suggested to you that you can, just buy yourself a decent gun. And he goes, I mean, the best weapons are hoarded on board the ship by the quartermaster. His name is Dominique, and he's a wee shite.
He's an absolute prick. Yes,
I wouldn't rely on him for your weapon if I were you.
No.
And, I mean, I've got a perfectly good plasma pistol, but it's got sentimental value to me. I wouldn't want to part with it. So just go and buy something. There'll be loads of weapons on there. You'll be spoilt for choice.
Yes, I'm sure I will.
Yes. Just don't fritter it all away, will you?
No, I mean, I wouldn't, by any stretch of the imagination, spend all the Inquisitor's hard-earned thrones on, a gold-chased bolt pistol or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, probably.
Related fashion.
Or fritting it away on clothes.
A lovely jacket to go with my shoes, that sort of thing.
Yes, to
go with your gun.
A gold embroidered jacket to match my gold chased pistol. Sounds wonderful.
Then Mattis, he goes, but actually, Quintius, there is something to be said. The rogue trader needs to have a certain sort of style, a certain sort of presence. Perhaps you should get your threads sorted out, because they are a wee bit tatty.
Excuse me.
And covered in quite a bit of blood as well.
I mean, have you seen these shoes?
I mean, the shoes are very good, very stylish. I do like those shoes. Would you sell them?
Get fucked. I mean, no, interrogator. These are my very favourite shoes. They're a memento from Orpheus 4.
Oh, and Quintius, I didn't want to see at the time, but you had a bit of plastic on your lapel.
Ah, yes, that reminds me.
You want to just get your thing cleaned up before you go on the station. Maybe you should get yourself some new threads. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is the money. We've got very little money. Cassandor, he wasted a huge amount. He bought all this shite, put a load of down payments down, and then the orcs went and raised all the people he were going to do business with. So all that money went to waste. We've got fuck all left. You've got to get some money back. The ship is starving. We're on our knees here. You've got to help us out, Quintius. So much depends on you and Nixius.
No pressure then. Lovely.
No pressure. And the Inquisitor, he's just, he's getting more distant.
Has he gone somewhere?
No, I mean, no, not like that, Quintus. It's just, he's not been the same since,
Oh, I see. Right.
since you brought that painting back.
Well, art can easily, distract someone greatly and things. But I tell you what, right? I'll go and have a word with Nixius. He's a smart man. We'll get our heads together.
Level heads, Nixius.
Yes.
Apart from that fucking stunt with the asteroid field, I mean, that was fucking rubbish.
Yes, that was quite fucking retarded. But
I mean, no need for them sort of words. We'll get demonetized.
James, first of all, that was Quintius, not me.
James, we love you, James. It's not your fault you failed 3 rolls.
It's not. I'm mocking Nixius. I'm not mocking James.
The dice aside, it made for a good story.
Why did you put me in charge of that?
But I will get my head together with Nixius. He's a smart chap. I think between his brains and my je ne sais quoi, I'm sure we can make some good deals and make a good amount of profit and get me a fantastic new suit.
Yes. I mean, that'd be good, because you can't go trading with other ship captains looking like a wee scruff.
No. I mean, have you seen the way some of the people on this ship dress, and you're judging me? Oh
No. It's just that certain standards are required of a rogue trader. You know what I'm saying? It's
I think so.
Prestige with the role.
Flamboyance, perhaps.
Indeed, yes. And I mean, there's certain standards you've got to live up to, and I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Leopard skin, I'm thinking, maybe.
Don't be. No, I'm not in a joking mood, Quintus.
No, I mean, no, I was definitely joking. I apologise. I was not serious.
Yeah, it's not. Today is not a day for joking.
No, absolutely not. Right, well, I've bothered you enough.
It's serious business, Quintus. I need to impress upon you just how serious this is.
I
These are
understand.
serious decisions, real decisions that need to be made, Quintus.
Yes.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
I will do my very best, interrogator. Absolutely. Don't you worry. Have no fears. Have no fear. Quintus is here, as we used to say in the. Anyway, I've got to go. Nice chatting with you. I need to see a cat monkey about a pillow.
Aye.
After the interrogator mentions the paintings, Jan's just gonna mutter, "Them paintings is dread, man. Truly dread."
Hold on. So I believe Quintus was it was a personal comms to the interrogator. You'll be able to hear Quintus speaking, but I don't think you'll be able to hear Aromat. Is that right?
Okay.
Or did you, that was right, Quintus?
Yeah, I was foxing him.
It was a private call, so he'd probably be able to hear you speaking in the room, but you won't be able to hear the other side of the conversation.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Quintus not mention the painting.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, so what you trying to?
I did say something about art, but I didn't mention the painting.
Yeah, you did that. Well, I mean, you can maybe deduce that, but it was Mattis who said he's not been the same since.
Yeah, no worries.
So you wouldn't have heard that. You'd have just heard Quintus's response. Okay, just to line in the chicken. Just need to line it in. There's been some. We've gone in quite hard with the chicken quite early doors to start with. We've had a meta shower.
That as you mean to go on now.
Well, I meant to go on with a lot of ridiculous stuff, so that's how I start. I mean, that's how I started the game off anyway, by a throwback to a load of fucking ridiculous bullshit. It felt great. I enjoyed doing that so much. So, thank you for indulging me, guys. And I know it's I could tell some of the stuff had been forgotten, and I needed to remind you of it. So.
I forgot nothing.
I know you. I'm not talking about you. You're normally. It's the rest of us who are getting smashed every game, and you can barely remember it week to week. So, okay. So, right. So you're ending the call.
Yep.
So Alexa, you've got dressed. You're looking, good as always. What would you like to do? Anything else you'd like to do this evening? Let's say there's no major sort of act you can take. We've got tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to get to tidy up any loose ends that you have. It'll be the last day of power play. So anything you want to get done before the Ridge Station expedition will happen tomorrow. But for tonight, you can do a bit of role playing, but you've had a long day, a very long day, and a lot of combat.
No, I'll rest. I'll rest.
Yeah. So there's you're happy to Happy to can move to resting. What about the rest of you guys? So you do the soothsaying. And then Quintius, did you say you had anything you want to do? Nothing like major tonight.
No.
If there's anything else you want to do. And Arnold as well, you've got a bit of free time if you want to.
Arnold's going to spend a bit of free time, actually.
Yeah? What do you mean spend a bit of free time? You mean...
I'm going to wash all my gear again. And once it's washed, dry it.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Are you going to use conditioner? Oh, fabric.
Yeah. After that...
Hold on. Sorry, making some notes there. So, Arnold, laundry.
I'll get changed back into my trousers and my top. And then I'm going to crack open some sort of like... Have I got beer or anything like that?
Well, let's check your inventory, so let's have a recap. Let's see if you have any beer.
I was only where I could go for beer, because Arnold's just taken some skulls. And Arnold needs a victory drink to celebrate skulls, you know. It's not a fun-raising way to go to sleep after you've just had a victory in combat.
Just one moment, Arnold. You've put yourself on the table. Is Arnold on the table?
Who was eating the meat?
Okay, so we'll put you in a chair. Is that where you were?
Yeah.
Were you just being mischievous, Hayden?
No,
I find that very hard.
When is Arnold not on the table?
What's that?
Is this a very what's the word? Philosophical question? Okay, so I'm checking your inventory, Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
We have a hit flask full of clear. But you're right. You know, if you want to go off and spend the evening at the Crow, you're welcome to do that. We won't role play it, but you're welcome to go down there and drink and eat and dance or whatever and celebrate Child's Content. But we just won't dwell on it.
I'd like to suggest it to anybody else who wants to go, and then if we get no takers, I'll go anyway.
Okay. So you want to go to the Crow? Okay. So Alexa, you're happy to rest, or did you want to go to the Crow as well, or did you?
I'm gonna. I'll rest because I think I'm sort of ready. Oh, no, I'll go see Bodo, I think. So he's available.
Hey, he comes into Bodo and you can go and spend the evening with him.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. Again, we're not going to role play it because I like to keep a bit of pace. I like to keep a little bit of pace going tonight.
Fine.
But yeah, you're welcome. Are you sleeping with Bodo again, or is it just?
I'll stay there. Yeah.
Is it? So Bodo. It's a Bodo booty call.
Alexa and Bodo sitting in a tree.
Right. Bodo Ott is a real person, and I hope they never learn that what they've become. If you somewhere where you know about this Bodo, I do apologise, but your name is great. So yarn, a soothsaying ritual. You make the preparations. You inscribe the circle of blood. You've already got some knowledge of circles. You've also been learning circles from the Book of Lies. You've not quite fully developed that skill, but you are along that path. It's something you've been working on over previous days of power plays. But it's something you also know the power of circles, the power of symbols. It's an important part of being a shaman. So it's something that you've already known before you even got on board the Malevolence. So you're going to set up the soothsaying ritual. So let me remind myself how we do that. I seem to think it was a fellowship test. Right? Is that correct?
I don't know, because I thought it. Do we?
Yeah, because I know. I don't think it's willpower because you failed them before. Because you failed them quite regularly. Let's have a little look.
No, it's only 28. The soothsaying, so I'm not sure what that goes. Is that just intelligence, or is it off fellowship?
I think it comes off fellowship. This one. Okay, so it's 28. So let's just see if we can get any modifiers. Let's see if check if there's any modifiers here. So okay, so let me think. So it's 28. So you set up the ritual. So first of all, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put yarn. Whereabouts are you doing the ritual?
Wherever the greatest amount of blood was.
Okay, so that is just by the door. There's blood everywhere here, but there are servitors around here, and there's a bit of kind of, let's say, noise and disturbance because they're actually literally cleaning up the blood, as we speak. I've put you where I think you'd be on the map. Are you happy with that?
1 second. Yarn. That one.
Well, I guess we might as well go for that one. That didn't work. Let's try again. There we go. You start to put a circle of blood upon... Oops, that's not right. Excuse me. Layer map. So you sit, you draw a circle using the blood of the traitors. And you sit in the center of the circle and you begin to rest your eyes, you begin to relax every muscle in your body, and you begin to enter the soothsaying trance, which you've done many times before, and you start to beseech your ancestors for wisdom, as you've done many times before, and so often they have answered you. What is the question that you are asking of your ancestors, Jan Spaddock? What is the question?
I want to know who tell these men to come here and kill us.
So who commanded?
Who commanded them to come here?
Who commanded these?
Who is the Ark Traitor?
Yeah, so the Derek Schneider, he said that the call sign of this guy was the Chief. And he's the only one who knows all the cells on board the ship. So that's what they call him, the Chief. But Derek didn't know who it was. And the whole point
is the Ark Traitor? Guide me to the Chief.
Okay, so the whole point is that the cells didn't know each other, therefore they couldn't compromise each other, and there's only one who kind of coordinates everything that's going on. Who is the Chief? Okay, so that's the question.
Who is the Chief?
Who commanded? Who is the Ark Traitor? Who is the Chief? Who is?
Who's our next target?
Ark Traitor.
Who's just got a scone for tea?
Do I see Jan do that? And I don't know how the ritual works. So do I see him doing the ritual, and do I hear him asking the question?
Yeah, for a start, I mean, you can't miss it.
Okay.
In fact, you're going to struggle to get out of the room without...
He's right standing in his blood circle. Sorry! Whoops! Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no problem, everybody. Just split up. They've only made an attempt on our lives, but it's a good idea to split up and go wherever you like. No problem.
So, yeah, whatever you do, splitting the party is always going to... So, yeah, so...
Especially after our lives were,
in dire peril,
in jeopardy by assassins.
James's accent slipped way out of Jamaican there for a moment. I don't know where it went.
Forever.
It's just a bit rusty. Give it time.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I have.
It's easy. It's not
I've been working with a lot of black people from like Nigeria and the Congo and all sorts of places. They come on over to work as, in care in all different places. And I've often thought of Jan and thought, whose history am I betraying with this? Like, who do I eventually have to answer to with this cultural appropriation that I've been enjoying for years now?
Like Jesus.
I don't know. Just hope, as I do, that it's all random. We come from dust, we'll go back to dust, and none of it will ever come out, James. Because otherwise, I'm in a whole load of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like a fuck ton of shit, man. If I have to fucking start counting to ancestors, I mean, all sorts.
See you in the hot place, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hey, at least we'll all be there together. Whee!
I mean, I also have a theory that this is hell.
I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I'm innocent.
The world ended.
Going nowhere. We're already there.
The world ended in 2020, in 2012, didn't it?
We're all sat on the fence in purgatory.
Honestly, I've been mulling this kind of thought train on. Maybe one day we'll go into that in deeper detail. But now's not the time. Now's the time for some serious roleplay. I'm just going to have a little bit of a break. Actually, no. I'll tell you what we're going to do is So what is everyone else? Are you going to the Crow with Arnold? Is that correct? Are you ignoring Yarn's plea to not split up all over the ship when you're being targeted by potential assassins, or are you gonna do? Yeah, you're gonna do the sensible thing and stay in your room where you've got a guard, and or are you heading off? Has Yarn's words, have they moved you at all, Alexa and Arnold?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit and watch and study this ritual as it happens. Just see what it's all about.
Okay, Arnold.
I might just
Arnold,
run out
Yarn,
the room.
Posterity.
okay. Are you walking past the circle, Arnold?
I might walk round the circle to get out the room just because I've got bad memories of Jan doing spells.
That's not possible, Arnold. The circle is right in the doorway where the blood is greatest.
Oh, it doesn't matter then. I'm just gonna stay
You're going to stay?
away.
So you're not going. You've changed your mind.
Pick up all the spent shell cartridges off the bed and then just arrange them neatly on the bedside table.
Guys, you're both talking at once. I can't hear you both.
You go ahead. You go.
I was just saying, I'm gonna form recovery position while Jan's spell goes off. See if I can give myself a little bit of extra defense.
So you're staying huddled in the room.
You're looking intense, my brother. You okay?
And Alexa, you're going to stay as well. So Yarn, your words move them. Because they're logical words, Yarn. It makes a lot of fucking sense, right? That's what
logical.
It's logical. You've just been nearly assassinated, and you fought off the assassins. What you don't do, surely, is split off all over the ship and go get pissed in a fucking. Yeah, that's just fucking stupid, isn't it, Yarn? You say that to them, and your words sway them because they make sense. And you, Alexa, and
clear.
Alexa's going to interface with the ship and get some more servitors just to scout out all the hallways and stuff as well to keep an eye out for us as well, just to survey the area, make sure that we're locked down in a basically security web, basically, just make sure that it's everything's covered, all the hallways are covered.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll just give you some. There's a couple of things here, Johnny. So firstly, is you've got a couple of different modes. So you can, the way you properly meld with a ship, there's only a few different areas on the ship you found you can do that. One of them is the bridge. You've also got a secret room, if you recall. There's a secret room somewhere that you found that you can also meld with a ship. However, you can still interface with the what do you call it? There's panels beside every major doorway, and you can interface with the ship there. It's not the same as melding with it, so it's not like you become the ship. It's just like more, a more removed. So you can do what you're saying. You would have to go to. I'll move you where you would have to be, which it would be. Why can't I get that? So you would have to go here though, which is you'd be disrupting the circle.
I'll leave it. I'll leave it then. I'll leave it there. I'll just. I'm just going to strip down and clean the stubber, and whilst I watch this.
Okay, and while you do that, the servo skull just hovers beside you. The servo skull that Yana found at the end of last game, that's Mother watching you, comes and hovers beside you, and actually starts to nuzzle into you quite closely.
I'm going to nuzzle back.
Quintius, what were you doing while all this was going on? Sorry.
So I'm going to do a couple of things. First thing is I'm going to go to Kara is in the cubicle, right? I'm just going to stand at the door.
She's in one of the toilets.
Push the cubicle door open. And I'm just going to go. Are you all right there, girl? Come on. Ook, ook, meow, ook, ook. And just going to try and coax her towards me.
I'd like you please to make a charm test at a we'll say a minus 20.
Minus 20.
But you can. I'll give you a bit of a metagamey hint, you do have still Kara's favourite toy, which you used to lure her out of the ultimate incinerator. If you want to use that to help, you can get +10, but bring it up to a -10.
Yeah, I've got that on me as well. I was just checking my inventory. So ook ook, squeak squeak, 1 degree of success.
Okay. So she looks distraught, and you can tell, and you've grown quite good at telling Kara's emotional state, and you've got quite close to her, and you can tell that she is in a foul mood. She comes out of the cubicle towards you slowly. She's got most of the plastic off of her. She comes out to about here. She comes quite close to you, and she gets very close, and so her body's touching yours, and she looks over here, and she seems to look at Arnold for a second, and then she goes,
What's the
Pardon me?
matter with you, girl? Why did you trash my pillow? What? Why didn't you like it? What was it about my pillow that angered you so?
It might be bugged. I'm just going to say that just casually whilst cleaning the weapon, bits of the weapon.
Is that what it is, Kara? Is someone stuck down the well? Is someone?
Stuck down the incinerator again.
And and so she's obviously a little bit shell shocked here, she's a bit distraught. And then obviously there's all the combat that went on, the roar of the chain axe, the shotgun. So it was really, really very noisy in here as well. She seems a little distraught and shell shocked. She seems unhappy, but she comes back to you, Quintius, and she nuzzles to you very closely, and she seems comforted by your presence.
Did you try? Did you try and do something to my pillow to protect me, Kara? Did someone try and hurt you? Is it Jeeves, Kara?
Okay, you talked to Kara, but it's almost as if
she's a cat monkey.
She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. It's almost as if she's an animal, a cat monkey, and it doesn't seem like she understands the words that you are saying.
I'm kind of.
Again, she never really has kind of obeyed commands or really, given any evidence that she can understand common.
I'm going to. She's still got some of this white substance on her because there's the bits of plastic and there's something else, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what's binding the plastic to her. And she's got most of it off, but and she's trying to clean herself. She's quite fastidious. She wants to clean herself, and she's unhappy with being dirty.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try and clean her up a bit. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get this white adhesive stuff, whatever it is. I'm going to try and get some. I've got a tin cup that was my drinking receptacle. I'm going to try and get some into that.
Okay. Yeah. You can do so. So you can take some off, perhaps for or other use. I don't know. But yeah, you can add that to your inventory.
Okay.
Right. Yarn. We'll say for the circle of blood, the traitor's blood, we'll give it a +10. But there's also disturbances. There's a lot of noise going on in the room. You prefer to have calm and ideally silence. But there's servitors moving around quite close in your peripheral. So that's also going to give a -10.
And it's
back to a straight test. What's up? You going to go? Hello? Goodbye. I didn't catch that, Johnny. I'm presuming that means you need to get off in a hurry.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay, no worries, mate. We can carry on. I'm going to take a short break anyway, so I'd just like you to make the roll, Yarn. It's going to be a straight roll. It's +10 for your circle, -10 for the noise and the general hubbub. So it's just going to be a straight test.
Oh, okay.
You want to stick or twist with that?
Stick.
Okay. I'm going to go for a drink. Going to have a little break and have a wee, and have a little think about what I'm going to do.
Well, it's been too long for this game, hasn't it?
Yeah, but like Al says, like when you got that block, when you.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying Al. I'm just enjoying what I've started playing tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's nice to get back into the swing of them. It's nice to go away and do different things, and then come back to it with like a fresh, vibe.
I think we all stopped just before spring, didn't we?
Just before it was, I think. I don't know if it was June or March the last time we chatted about it.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to get you. Yeah, it's nice to get back into it. I'm picking up Arnold again. But you're the same, Dave, with Quintus, are you?
Yeah, I've been talking to Al a bit about Quintus as well. I'm going to start playing him slightly differently. I'm going to start playing him as much more of a devious schemer. He was always a schemer, but I'm going to start playing him as a much more devious schemer, but not towards you guys, but towards the various members of the crew, because he's going to get increasingly paranoid about the crew, and also the whole interrogating and executing Derek. Was a bit of a step for Quintius. So I'm going to play him as like getting a bit more into the whole. Less of a bumbling fool and more of a devious bastard kind of thing.
Less of a bumbling fool, more of a ninja tool.
Well, he's never be a ninja. He's just a fucking nasty piece of work, really, at heart. But
Yeah, but be a word ninja.
I'm going to
11th of June, I think, is when we last kind of discussed not playing Darkest. Before we started talking again in November, it was the 11th of June. So.
Is that the last time we played this game?
Wow.
I think so.
I could probably figure that out actually from my YouTube thingy, because usually I usually put the video up online within the week that it's made, so you can probably tell from the timestamp on that as well. But I haven't got my hard drive down here.
No, there's stuff in my face. Holly did me she's cooked up a bit of kebab with cheese and onion.
Ooh.
And saved me a little bit, so I get the munchies, which I did. Dirty kebab. Dirty doner with a medley of cheese and onions.
Lovely.
Give me. What are you making, mate?
I'm making a cheese chili and a ham toasty. Yeah, transformed.
Nice.
Ham on the outside.
Extra ablative ham.
Yeah.
Jan, you go deeper into the trance, the ritual. You've done this so many times before. Your ancestors, they are there. They are listening, and they give you guidance. They give you wisdom, or at least they try. You go deeper into the trances. You need the silence. You need no distractions. And on the edge of your hearing, there's this kind of drone from one of the servitors. You ask the question, who commands these men? Who is the arch traitor? Who is the chief? And a face hovers in front of you. You've seen this face many times. The ancestors try to show you the arch traitor. They try to show you. And one moment. They show you who it is. least I try, because I'm still learning this fucking system. There we go. You see a golden mask. You see the eyes with so little emotion in them other than hatred. You see the slight frame supported by augmetics fashioned in gold. It is Inquisitor Maul Spinebreaker, Lucius's nemesis. He gave the command. He is the arch traitor. He is the chief who has brought about or attempted to bring about your assassination. But it seems like the ancestors are not subtle enough to manage a distinction, or perhaps the ritual was interrupted in some fashion. It's perhaps it was the servitors, but unfortunately they do not give you the answer that you seek this time. Perhaps another time you can skip through to the end, but not this time, Jan. Maybe next time. So so your ritual goes on, but unfortunately it was a fail, and it's not really giving you anything new. So what's happening now then? So Alexa, I think, was just sat on the bed. Arnold's drinking. Quintius, was there anything else you wanted to do this evening?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to just one more thing. Did you mention something?
The whole evening in the toilet.
You said something about a new pillow arrived via Jeeves, right?
Yes, he brought you a new pillow.
And you mentioned it was scented.
Yeah, and it looks luxurious.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I'm not doing anything with that. I just wanted to clarify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very subtle, the scent. Maybe it's some kind of fabric softener that's not available to you peasants. Welcome back, Johnny. I can hear you. I can hear you. Pause for Johnny. Fabric softener is comedy gold.
That's
I love certain combinations of words will get that fucking response.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only fabric softener.
There is only Lenore extra.
Yeah, Lenore. Everything else is heresy.
But yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna spend a bit of time with Cara, just calming her down, nursing her, trying to help her clean up a bit, and then I'll go to bed.
It's experiments on that with monkey. So.
Okay, so Jan, you feel quite spent after the ritual. The ritual always drains you. Alexa,
what happened? What happened?
He very narrowly failed his role, and what he saw was an image of Spinebreaker, Inquisitor Maul Spinebreaker, nemesis. So he didn't get the distinction of the kind of what he's after is the kind of man below Spinebreaker, and the kind of one who's
I'd rather not use a reroll just in case I roll something bad.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. So he didn't quite make his role, and he didn't quite get the information that he wanted. And plus, part of me is bitter because every time I try and put in a bit of story or any sort of plot line, James just jumps to the end because he's got a fucking ritual, which I gave him, so it's a problem of my own making.
I mean,
it's a rod I made for my own back.
I'm not trying to say that I warned you about this, but I warned you about this.
You did tell me so. Yes, it's on me. I keep telling you, I keep making questionable decisions.
Could I not take like a whole, divination tree though as well? Or would that be better? Would you prefer that?
The thing is,
honestly, I don't know. I mean, maybe we should have a chat outside, James. I don't know. Like maybe we'll take this out of game, and I don't know because I'm also interested to see because this what we're going to do with Jan, and I think we've both had some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, but we'll maybe sit and have a chat of this. Maybe I'm angling for it to get invited around for tea again or something. I don't know.
Well, we're meant to have a game as well, so
yeah. Maybe I'm angling
this weekend, maybe.
This weekend, I've got stuff on. I don't know if we've got a game planned on Sundays, perhaps.
I haven't even looked at the calendar, to be honest.
I don't know, but maybe James will.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll come back to you on that one. So, are you on days now, mate? Is that right?
I am, yeah. Well, we'll just have to. We'll sort a day out.
Yeah. But yeah, but in short, I don't want you to always just lean on the soothsaying ritual.
No. It's just a little hint, just a tiny hint, just a whip of thin hint.
It's also very difficult just to give a hint without giving the game away, right? It's not easy. It's not always easy to do. But anyway, so for this time, I've managed to kick that can down the road because you failed your roll. Kick that can down the road. It's I'll keep the plate spinning for just a little longer. Okay, so the evening will end then. It's been a long day. We don't want to spend all the evening in this chamber, do we? Don't want to spend all night here. We've we're halfway through the session tonight. Perhaps we'll move the game on a little further.
What?
Just a little further. Let's
I
move
should be
on.
asleep by Dave's reckoning.
Yeah, you're
You're doing well. You're going strong.
I'm glad I was wrong, Hayden. I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, I'm glad. I backed you, mate. I've backed you all the way. Clean sweep tonight. I put it down there. Dave said 8:33. You passed 8:33.
I said 834.
He's still close though.
No, I'm joking.
Dave's still close.
I believe in you. I believe in you, man.
I believe in you. You're gonna do it, Hayden. You're gonna make it all the way.
I actually think there's historical evidence that when we all place bets on when Hayden will fall asleep, he doesn't fall asleep.
Spite
It's true. It's like the anti.
Bacon round the outside of his toasty.
That looks pretty good, actually.
Decadent, doesn't it?
Decadent.
There's cheese in the middle.
Ablative bacon.
Around the outside, yeah. Ablative bacon.
It will not protect it from your teeth.
There's one more thing. Actually, there's one more thing I want to do with Yarn before we end the day. But I'm gonna wait for him to come back because I don't want him to miss this next bit.
No, actually, ignore me.
I just want to check in with you guys. Everyone all right? Everyone having fun?
Yeah.
Good to be back, Al.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Well, it's good to just have this group of us as well because it's like the originals, isn't it? So that's good in its own. It has its own special magic to it for me.
Yeah, same.
Which is good. And I've missed this game. I've missed this game a lot. So,
like I said, until this game, I said this to Al the other day. Until this game began, I was a forever GM. You know, I never ever got to be a player. So this game is special to me.
Yeah, it's it holds a special place for me as well, just because it's just cool. Just a cool game.
Cool, man. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. So it's a special place for me as well, man. Like the first time I've really got to cut loose as a GM. Like I used to be a GM back in the day, but I was such I did it quite young, let's say, and now I'm a bit more. Not mature, but you know what I mean. I've learned a bit more.
Yeah, definitely not mature. None of us are. But...
That's the incorrect word. Perhaps a bit more experience, and I feel,
Yeah.
So originally, when I look back at the first session in this campaign, I thought it was pretty rough, and I was really kind of lacking in confidence. I feel like over the 2 and a bit years, I feel I've got to enjoy it quite a bit.
I always thought you hit the ground running with this campaign. I really did. Yeah. I thought it was great from the off.
Yeah, I do.
I'm glad you think that, but it's always different how you feel about things. Yeah, how you perceive yourself and how other people perceive you.
I just remember that look of slight panic in your face when you were trying to inject everyone for the cryo tubes, and I was like, I'm fucking out of here, I'm running away, and you were like, oh, Dave's gonna fuck my game up in the opening minutes.
if that happened again now, since then I've thought I could have done something really cool with this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I would have done, because it probably obviously I can't retake time back, but if I could have done it again, I'd have a nurse go up to you and grab your arm and go, get off the ship while you can. You've got time to basically, as in to really, you know what I mean? You're right, get off of the ship and really try and, you know what I mean? But I didn't think of that at the time, right? And I did panic a little bit because it's like kind of, we feel it when you lurch a bit as a GM.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah. That happens so much.
Yeah. But I wish I'd have done that. The nurse just say to you, get off while you can. You've still got a chance to get off. You wouldn't have got off a ship, obviously, but it would have been. That would have been cool, but I didn't do it. Anyway, welcome back, James.
It goes pretty well. Thanks. It goes pretty well considering like how much of it is
Shitstorm.
like
A hot
ad lib.
mess.
You know.
Yeah, I think so. I'm quite chuffed. Anyway, James, Yarn. You get a comms before you go to sleep tonight. It's Nixius Roth. Hello, old bean. Don't. Sorry about the accent. Sorry about the accent. I know it's not quite right.
What you doing calling me? You know we have the same brain, my brother.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I do feel a certain sort of kinship with you. Some sort of. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's a connection, let us say. I was wondering if you could do me a favour, old bean.
Sure. How can I help?
Well, you see, I'm going away to Ridge Station with Quintius on this expedition of trade, and I've got my my crack team of specialists. And they'll be kind of a bit rudderless without me. You see, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind, just keeping an eye on them. They need a firm hand, you see, and there's just no one else I can think of who would be up to the task. Would you mind just looking after them a little bit while I'm not there? You know, just checking on them, make sure they don't do anything fucking stupid. I'd be in your
You're
debt.
not all right, yeah.
Why is Alan constantly tormenting James with Cell 54? It's like
You get your kicks where you can.
No stupid purchases. Just that everybody wanted their own personal mutant. I consider it a group troll, if I'm honest.
I mean, Cell 54 is a thing of beauty.
it is.
And it's probably the I'll have fond thoughts of it. So would you do that for me, Jan, please?
Well, I never make no promises, man, but I check in on them every now and then.
Yeah, just try not to let them escape or do anything. You know, they need a firm hand. They really do. And I won't be there. Yeah, I'll be on this mission. So I mean, we do need a firm hand. And who else, Jan? Who better than you?
The judge.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Well, just consider it. You've still got a little time. You've still got a day to mull it over. But if you do consider and say yes, can we pop over tomorrow? You know, I'll introduce you. It'll be
Right on,
fun.
man. See you tomorrow.
Jolly good. Nixius out.
Oh, Nix, before you go, man, like
Back on.
they make an attempt on our life, the traitors.
What?
Who,
What do you mean?
yeah, they came to our quarters and does Nix know? Nix must know about the other Inquisitor, does he?
Yes, he does. And
Yeah, he's been at the meetings, hasn't he? So
been at the commander meetings. He's
pretty sure that Spinebreaker sent his assassins to attack us tonight. So you need to be careful, man, because they may come for you.
Right, I see. And well, we've already got quite the squad of guards on our cell, but I think that's also to keep Cell 54 in as much as it is to keep the traitors out. But I shall be extra vigilant. I make a recommendation to you: whatever you do, don't go down to the Crow and don't split up.
Yeah, I made the same assumption, man. We wouldn't want to split up, not at a time like this.
Yeah. Just be careful. Be more cautious. But yes, it also might be that they may have played their hand. You see, I don't know. I can't imagine that Spinebreak has limitless resources deployed upon our ship. Does he? I suppose we don't know, do we? Nobody knows. But yes, best to be cautious. I shall take your words very seriously. Was that it? There you go.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Okay, Nixius out. Okay. So we're going to leave. It's 13 days after the orbital assault. We're going to leave day 13 there. Day 14. Day 14 will be the last day of power play, and your last day on board the ship before you go off to Ridge Station and a new section of the campaign will go on. You'll be leaving the ship. So if you've got any loose ends that you want to tidy up, day 14 will be there to do it.
Oh, I've got a loose end.
If you've got stuff to do, so have a little think about how you're going to spend your last day power play. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a little intermission. We're going to have a little cutscene before we move on to day 14. Ooh. So if you haven't heard me talk enough, you'll now get to hear me talk some more.
GM's privilege.
You must indulge me.
Let the monologuing commence.
You must.
Vagina monologues.
I'm going to sabotage my own sweepstake and try and put Hayden. It's time to go under, Hayden. It's time to go deeper.
Look into my eyes, not around the eyes.
No, look around my eyes. Look into my eyes.
Stop being so mean to him.
He only respects strength. He doesn't respect any weakness. He wouldn't want me to be soft on him. He wouldn't be soft on me, would he?
He doesn't respect words.
I'm curious you were galloping knob rot.
No. Not the knob rot. Okay. Meanwhile,
I think my turns take long. I like it. I like it when Hayden goes to sleep because that
gives you more.
I'm not asleep.
Comparison. You're not asleep, mate. You're still in the game. But for how long? How long can you resist my voice when I give you another monologue?
Oh no!
It's time to go deeper into sleep.
Not a monologue past 9.
Not a monologue past 9. Danger. Meanwhile, in a private room. This area of the ship is given over to relative luxury. The furnishings, the decor. Here and there, items of rare value can be seen. 4 identical, heavy armoured chests are stacked in a row. The chests themselves are a fine work. Artistic. But despite their artisanal nature, Butterfield rests assured that they are impossible to break into. He has the majority of his chests hidden elsewhere on the ship, guarded by the only one who matters. The tankard on the table is worth more than what most Imperial citizens could earn in a lifetime. It is fashioned of some rare alien alloy, which the tech priests have not been able to replicate. It sits untarnished and full of a thick, dark beer of Horatio Butterfield's own family recipe. Elsewhere, there are 2 cakes and a flan that he has had made for him by his best apprentice. Butterfield can do better himself, of course. But these are good enough. The flan is good enough, and it uses the best ingredients on board the ship. Horace licks the sugar off his fingers and takes another long draught of the dark beer. Absently, he tosses half of a cake to his companion, who is huddled by the heater. The little greenskin hungrily devours the offering. The creature looks like it has been wounded, scratched and bitten. The little greenskin knows fear beyond the capacity to be withstood. First, they had made him and his brothers go into the strange tunnel. There had been promises of food, and anyone who tried to avoid the tunnel were turned back by the runt herds and their prods and whips. And inside the tunnel was the swirling madness. The Snotlings have no name for the Sea of Souls, and there was not one of them that wasn't driven mad by the journey. They were sent to a strange alien place full of enemies, and he and his brethren attacked everything and anything they could, and they had been killed, and or they had fled to the most remote and inaccessible areas of the ship. This ship, their new home. and they had been safe for a time, and they had started to regain some fragments of their minds. They had found some small place on board and made it their own. But then a hunter came for them. The shadow. Death from the darkness. The shadow was without remorse and relentless in the hunting. The worst of it was, the hunting was often just for sport. The creature was clearly well fed because it didn't feed upon the snotlings. In the hidden corners of the ship, the hunter came for them. The shadow came for them. It left his brethren shattered and discarded. Ooking softly, using the noises to startle and herd the snotlings into ambushes, or simply deny them sleep and force them to keep moving, making themselves more vulnerable.
It's like Predator.
Psychological warfare. No. I'll pause for Johnny. It's fine, mate. You take your time. Tactical ooking. One by one, his brethren, the ones who still held on to enough of their minds, were picked off. It was relentless. Stranger still was a second enemy stalking them, seemingly working in concert with the shadow. It was a floating skull, and it seemed to be assisting. The snotlings were being hunted and corralled across the length of the ship. The skull ooked softly in concert. And soon they had started to run out of options and spaces to flee. Soon there were hardly any of them left, and many just gave up. They had run out of fight, and they lay there, broken. This snotling is sure that it is the last one remaining on board the ship. It knows that it is the last of its kind here. Horatio Butterfield, the king cook, knows that it is wrong, that harbouring a Xenos is a forbidden act. But Horace thinks that he has quite a bit of leeway, and he tosses a third of the flan to the snotling. He dims the lights, he gets into bed, and he starts to drift off to sleep. But soon, Horace is shocked awake. He can barely breathe. Hurriedly, desperately, he rushes out of his room, breathless. And in the corridor, he can catch his breath. The air is better out here, richer somehow. Butterfield checks his console. The information is the same. There is no malfunction. The ship is quite insistent. But Horace is sure that there is less oxygen going to his chamber. The life support system of his room keeps having these unexplained power drains. You can hear it in the fans. They are barely moving. The fans creak and stop. He has reported it again and again to the engineers, but nothing gets done. Horace goes back inside. The oxygen has gone back to normal, or close enough. The snotling seems mostly unaffected. Seemingly it can manage with low levels of oxygen. Horace has decided to name the snotling Bonbon. Bonbon is scared, hurt. He looks up to Horatio Butterfield with large manipulative eyes. Horace thinks that Bonbon makes life worth living.
Fucking Bonbon.
Bonbon is his best friend. It's a perfectly serious game. Serious game. It's real game. It's all real. It's not weird at all. Bonbon is his best friend. And that's where we'll leave that cutscene. I hope you found it instructional.
That was genius, Al. I'm kind of in awe.
That's cool. Like it. Just pictures that, like the terror of these snotlings, like been
Fleeing to the ship. Yeah.
This has been it's been going on in the background for some time.
I remember there was
Amazing.
snotlings on the ship. Yeah.
I brought you, yeah. So they came across with the shock attack guns, and
Yeah.
your job was to clear the infestation, but you kind of lost interest in it. But because you rescued the ship's cat, it was something that obviously keeps down the vermin. So yeah.
Go carrot.
It's yeah. So that's an unexpected, let's say, advantage of rescuing the cat monkey.
I think I proposed a plan at one point to try and use Kara to like to herd the snotlings into the armory to deal with Dominic. I think that was my plan at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of shit get chatted in this game.
Yeah,
man, so,
I think I was trying to figure out a way to guide her, and I didn't have one. But yeah, that was my idea.
Cool. Okay. So that's the end of day 13. It ends with Horace Horatio Butterfield cursing the life support system in his room. Why isn't it working at full power? I wonder. So we're going to go on today.
The chef.
Yeah. He's one of the players on board. You've got Horace Horatio Butterfield, Lord Engineer Benny, Jagannafa, Dominic Peters. They're all perfectly good names. The Inquisitor Lucius. I think that. Oh yeah, and obviously the Technomancer. He's one of the other kind of center power. So they're your kind of power centers, let's say. We're going to go on to day 14, a power play.
Cool.
Are you with us, Hayden?
Yes.
Damn it, I wasn't good enough. I tried to put him to sleep with my voice. Sleep. Go to sleep. It's fine. Take comfort in my words. Just let go. Stop fighting it. So difficult.
Fight it, Hayden! Fight it!
Sorry, this is bad GMing, by the way. I'd like to do day 14 now. So what I'd like to do is just go for everyone briefly to see what you'd like to do on day 14. So Jan, I think you're going to start off because you're going to pop over to cell 54. So
you haven't met the freaks yet.
Yes, he has. You have met the freaks. I can't remember why or when, but you definitely did.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm trying to think why that is. I think what's his name? Tommy Lee wanted to see Jan and arranged a meeting because I think he basically wanted to get his hands on the Book of Lies, and he was quite insistent. He was quite passionate that he needed the book.
I need the book, Shepherd. I need the book.
And I think Jan basically said, "No, mate, you're not having the book." But yeah, so I think that's why you met Cell 54 because Nixius asked you to come over, and so yeah, I think that's the reason. I just want to get a briefing, so I just want to basically make a list of the things you'd like to get done in this day, and I don't want to spend ages on day 14 if I can avoid it, because there's other stuff to come, And we don't want to get bogged down in loads and loads of power play. We don't spend all evening in a toilet, guys. Come on.
Speaking of which, can I do mine first? Because I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah, so what are you wanting to get done on? What's your kind of... first, you just want to tell me briefly, and then we'll go through it in a bit more detail, okay?
I'm gonna suggest that we don't go off alone. I'm going to suggest we go off in pairs. And I don't think it really matters what that pair is, but I think that would be a good idea. I'm going to go see Laura. I'm going to go and try and track down Melissa, and also go to the infirmary. That's the three things I want to do.
Yeah, okay, no worries. We're roughly in the same place as ship, so that make it a bit easier. So what about anyone else got anything they'd like to pipe up, or should I just go around you in turn?
Probably going to continue work on the... don't know. I'll probably continue work on from afar on the actual the servitor manufacturing plant, and just give instructions. I'm going to let Bodo know that there's been an attempt, so that we're on lockdown, so that I'm on lockdown, and then basically I'm going to ask if he'll meet me at our cell room so we can discuss and go through plans and work on things remotely. So,
Okay.
From the workshop.
Okay. Jan, have you got anything you'd like to do in day 14 of your power play? It's your last day of power play, so you can just spend it in leisure. I think during power play, you often didn't really have a firm project, and you're often flitting between different projects.
Yeah.
You helped out on various different things. What you were working on last was you were studying circles in the Book of Lies, and that was
Yes.
the closest.
Yeah. Still doing that. Still looking for. Still studying the Book of Lies. I think for what's the word? Is it demonology that the circles are in?
Well, there's. I'll come to that.
I remember now.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that, mate. I've got
a.
I've got a. You were focusing on circles, but I've got a little slide I can show you when we get to your turn. That I'm quite proud of. So we'll have a recap on that. So you want to maybe do a bit of naughty book? Is that okay?
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm looking for circles, probably something to enhance the tattoo. I think it was all to do with the tattoo and finishing the tattoo.
Yeah, the two separate things. You have had some work done on the tattoos. That's one of the things you can do. You can spend time getting your tattoo expanded.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking for is knowledge to make it a real gem.
To improve it. So I think yes, like I say, you're flitted a bit between projects. What I'd advise you, it's normally me advising Johnny this, is
I think we've been flitting because of we've been trying to figure out what's been going on the ship as well, and kind of it's been part of the counter traitor process.
Yeah, that's fine. So
like for his own personal gratification, I think we're looking to kind of make an epic or legendary kind of tattoo final.
So you want to okay. You've got like a project. Yeah. And I've said to you before that the circle, there's a lot of overlap and a lot of overlay between the two. The defensive tattoo and the symbology, and also the symbology of circles as a defense against.
Yes. And I think that might come in useful later.
I mean, no spoilers here, mate, but it's going to fucking come in handy.
Yeah. Which is, because for a start, we've got to get rid of the tentacular. I suspect that's going to be an issue.
It will. I mean, it's almost like you've read the notes. It's almost like you can tell what I've got.
I would like to think I've got a little idea of how your mind works, Alan. There's only one thing could be going down when I purchased the demon thing. But anyway, when somebody lays a trap, you spring the trap.
The first step into avoiding a trap is to know of its existence. And the Book of Lies is a trap. It is known. Hayden,
I'm cool with that. I can live with that.
Hayden. Stop fighting. You don't need to fight anymore. Just let go. There is a blessed peace in sleep. Sleep. Right. So Hayden's what? Oh.
You've done it. You made it happen.
Okay. So Arnold maybe can be bodyguard. I'll come back to Arnold when he can tell me what he wants to do, but we might need to retcon this. So we're going to move on to day 14. So where I'd like to start today, guys. We just seen, by the way, the ablative bacon was not what is needed to fend off sleep. Actually, it was the finishing blow. The secondary bacon.
The nice heavy fat in his belly.
Was the straw.
It's comforting and warm.
Comforting.
The coup de grease.
Yes.
Brilliant. Well done.
Well played, Johnny.
Well played, Johnny.
Pun of the night goes to Mr. Jonathan Carter.
As usually is the case. Oh, look at that.
Talented is Johnny with the pun.
It's a natural talent, and you should lean into it. If you do something well, mate, you should fucking lean into that motherfucker. And one thing you do well is punning, and the other one is mocking, and so you do both of those very well.
Oh,
Right. Okay, it's a shame now. It's a shame that Hayden won't be able to join us for the next bit. But what I'd like to do next is
Can somebody write that? Can somebody write that down? Because that was gold, please.
what
It's,
was it? I've already forgotten.
coup de Greece.
That was it.
Coup de Greece. That's going in. It's now canon. I'll find a way to jimmy that into the recap for the next game. It's going in. I would like to start the next game, day 14 of Power Play. I would like to start it, if we could, in Cell 54's chamber, with Yarn heading to the chamber for the handover with Nixius, for him to introduce you to the other guys. And we can also do the last day of Power Play. We can get our ideas for what you guys do. But I thought I'd also give you the opportunity to do a bit of role play in Cell 54's chamber. Are you up for that? You happy with that?
Yeah.
I was trying to. Not that I'm trying to lead you. Okay, so let's go there then. So Yarn, you make your way. Arnold, make sure that you get there safe. He's got your back, and then he goes back because he's safe enough on his own. I don't know. Fuck it. Anyway, so you get to Cell 54's chamber. So I don't know whether you'd rather roleplay both Nixius and Yarn, or whether you want me to take over Nixius. So it's up to you. It's up to your preference, mate.
I don't know. It's too much. Too much to do two simultaneously. It's too weird.
That's absolutely fine, mate. I've got no issue with that. It's fine, James. I just have to roleplay every other fucking character on the ship. The two's too weird for you. We have to do a whole fucking room full of the fuckers.
Hey, at least Alan hasn't tried to get you to have sex with yourself, James.
It was tastefully done.
Eesh.
It was tastefully done.
Call him Peach. Role-play next.
Come on, guys. You have to respect this consensual game. Consensual, and the safe word's been called, so we have to respect that. But I don't know how Yarn and Nixius float, and I don't think they're going to do that sort of thing. So let's just leave it there. Let's put you onto Cell 54's chamber then, and we'll do a little bit of.
Got out of how quickly.
It often does, so. But we've got to respect the safe word. That's what it's there for. Oh, before we get into this, hang on, what's going on here? Are you doing that? I've put something on this map, and I'm not sure if that's wise. No, we shouldn't do that. Take that off the map. Sometimes I make maps or write stuff when I'm drunk, and then I realise it's a terrible mistake. And that I'm just taking it off the map. So what I'd like to do before so Yarn, you're going to go to Cell 54's chamber. So I'd like to also just quickly cut across to, if we may. We're going to go to Courtney's bedchamber. Courtney, you don't sleep with the rest of Cell 54. You've got your own. You've got your You've got your own room, Courtney, and here we are. We've moved you onto your map. You've got.
of something. So it's
No,
not dick pic.
a dick pic or a tank?
Tank.
On my dick.
Yes.
Okay,
Tank of
so
dick.
so Courtney and Jan, you reach the front door of Cell 54's chambers approximately at the same time by some curious happenstance. There are 4 members of the Imperial Guard on the door. So these are some of Lucius's most loyal and veteran, hard-picked stormtroopers. They're all looking quite vigilant. The Inquisitorial Guard have heard, obviously, of all the trouble that's been going down, and security looks tight. You also see a couple of servo skulls hovering around along the way. So it seems like the ship as well is keeping an eye on key locations. So in effect, you see evidence of almost a lockdown. The ship is on high alert, and the corridors are less populated than normal. And there's still a bit of a tension in the air. The kind of, you can almost feel the kind of paranoia that's starting to simmer up with all these traitors on board, and the kind of conflict that's happening between the different factions. It's starting to bubble up. You feel that there may be a mutiny coming. The slowest mutiny of all time. You reach the door. The stormtroopers are here. Courtney and
They're
Jan.
level.
They
level
recognize
level.
you. They shoot you. The campaign ends now. So yeah, Courtney and Jan, you bump into each other. You're outside the door. The door is shut. One of the stormtroopers nods at you, Jan. You recognize him. It's Sergeant Strange. Don't recognize
I don't
him.
recognise Sergeant
No,
Strange.
no, it's fine. It's not a problem. But you have seen him out and about. So.
Wagwan,
I,
Sergeant.
I didn't just make it up. Don't worry about it.
Made up.
No, I don't have an accent for him. What's his accent? Yeah, all right. Jan, acolyte. Oh,
Sergeant Barrymore.
Nixius told me that you'd be coming. Do you want to go right in?
Yeah, man.
Right. He opens the door for you, and
what?
Sergeant Strange also nods at you and goes, "Courtney, you've enjoyed drinks down the pro with Sergeant Strange. You probably know him better than most."
Yeah. Hi, Sergeant.
Oh, lady.
Slut.
How's your guard duty going today?
Yeah, it's we all heard about the attack. You wouldn't have heard, my lady.
No. Oh, tell me more. Tell me more.
There's traitors on board. They've been making their move.
Never.
You're in danger. You're in danger. You should be careful.
What, right now?
Any time on board the ship.
But not while I'm here with you, though. No.
No, well, I mean, Jan here. I'm sure he can defend you. He's powerful psyker, so I've heard. And obviously, you've got 4 of us guards here. You're safe here as you're likely to be anywhere on the ship.
I feel.
But just
in
general.
Very comforted by that knowledge. Thank you, Sergeant. And he's going to squeeze his arm slightly, even though he won't feel it. But feel very comforted.
He nods at you slightly and goes, "Yeah, and don't go down to the Crow. It's not safe."
Oh no, I wouldn't dream of it. I wouldn't dream of it.
Stop fighting. Go deeper into sleep.
Come back.
Yeah,
It's back under.
sleep. Okay, so are you going inside?
Yeah.
Okay, so you head inside, and inside you see Tommy Lee and Nixius. They are sat down at the table. They've just been enjoying their breakfast. Nixius Roth has a fairly decent breakfast in front of him, as befits a acolyte, and as does Tommy Lee, because he's a treasured member of the team as well. You see, someone's been doing some tidying up here. You see, there's a monotask servitor that's been doing a bit of tidying up because these guys left the place in a real state. You also see a power cable that's been running from the console. It's running through the main door to the jail cell. You see a half-finished painting on the wall that could be a scene from the bayou, or it could just be a weird fever dream. Yeah, and there's a strange smell in the air. There's a smell of like not hops. There's a smell of like fermenting alcohol. There's also a smell of like a musky smell of lizard.
Marvelous.
Tommy Lee, you're here, and Nixis goes, Jan. Sorry, sorry. Just give me a second. I can't do a very good Nixius. You have to forgive me. I think I had him earlier, and now I've lost him. Hello, old bean. Thanks for coming. I knew you'd seen sense.
What am I doing here, man? What you want from me?
Well, I just wanted to introduce you to the rest of the team. Let them know that you'll be just keeping an eye on them while I've gone, and they just need a firm hand, just to make sure that they don't do anything foolish, try and escape, kill anybody. Just don't make any. I just need someone I can trust here while I'm not there. I don't know why. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like we have a similar mind. Don't you agree? I don't know why that is.
That's the snoring of the lizard man in the back there. No, sir, don't mind the snoring of the lizard man, Mr. Shepherd. It's all good.
I'm gonna mute him.
Absolutely accurate, I think, by all accounts.
Very good.
Yeah.
Not many people are gonna go that hardcore into the role play.
Bonus, extra.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
What do they call it when you act?
Method acting.
Method, yes.
Yeah.
He's a true method actor, is Hayden. We didn't realise.
Yeah, sorry about that. He is quite the snorer, is old Cletus. It's I don't know, something to do with his extended tongue. Keeps getting caught, and plus I think he keeps drinking the moonshine. I think that makes him snore as well.
Undoubtedly.
And you can't help but notice the strong, heavy smell of spirits that's permeating through the whole chamber. And Nixius,
How's the brewing operation going then?
well, it's quite small scale at the minute. Cletus wants to keep it small scale. He wants to keep control of it. But we have got an Orphean in here as well. I'll introduce you to him. He's been helping out. I'll introduce you, Jan, to the team if you mind. You've met Tommy, of course.
Hi, Shepherd. It's me, Tommy Lee. We met before. You promised me you'd let me have a look at your book.
No book for you, Tommy.
No, I'm pretty certain you said I could look at your book whenever I wanted. I remember those words.
Oh, is it a storybook?
No, it's a very special book. It's a very special book that the shepherd carries.
Oh.
It's a good book, and he said I could look at it. You don't go back on your word now. Mm-hmm.
I ain't letting your friend look at the book, Tommy, and
My friend, I know
your friend is part of you as well, so I can't let you look at the book.
Tommy doesn't have any friends.
No, nobody likes Tommy. Even Tommy's mother said he was an asshole. I don't have no friends.
Well, I'm your friend, Tommy, and I'm doing you a favor by not letting you look at this book. Believe me, man.
You're my
Doing a
friend.
great job.
Those of us with the sight need to stick together, man.
Can I get that in writing that you're my friend? Just in case anyone asks. Little piece of paper says Tommy Lee's got a friend, and next time everyone's mocking him, I can go, hey, look, I'm friends with a shepherd, motherfucker. You don't want to fuck with me? I'll fuck you bitches right up.
Damn straight, Tommy. They fuck with you, man. They tell him to come my way up.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we roll, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't suppose Alexa. She said she was going to do some work on some armor for some of our crack team of specialists. She said she was going to put together perhaps some armor. We've got, but it has to be bespoke made because obviously, well, he starts to lead you off into the prison cell. He said, well, you've met good old 33 over here. He's none of the regular armor will fit him. 33 goes, you call me fat? No, not fat, 33. Just you need some special armor, and yes, we also need some special
on a
armor
different
for
scale, big man.
Yes, it's just non-standard armor. Yes. Yes, and obviously the Lizardman here, this snoring one, he obviously needs armor for his extra appendages. So yes, I don't suppose whether you know. I mean, I don't suppose she's told you. Has she made any progress on it, Alexa, at all? It's quite important we get some armor for these guys.
Working on it right now, man.
Ah, very good, very good, very good. Well, it's yeah. I mean, it would be excellent. I think got a feeling, call it a hunch, that we might need to get these guys combat ready very soon.
Yeah, I tell her to work on it as priority, man.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I mean, just I mean, you do have her ear. But yes. And you see down at the other end of the corridor, there's a pile of copper ingots piled up, stacked up against one of the doors. And you also see an Orphean who's just popped out of the chamber down at the end, and he walks up. And Nixis goes, this one's called Hefe. He's a new addition to our living quarters here. He's been helping Cletus out with the moonshine that we're making, which we think will come in handy. And after all the noise, the only one who doesn't pop out to join you all is Lizardman, who's fast asleep. But 33 pops out, squeezes through the door, which doesn't really fit, so he has to kind of wedge himself through. And then the other member of the team is called Nick. He's a bit of a free-armed dwarf, but he's quite capable. He's got an extra arm, and he's quite good at crafting as well. So he's been helping out with the Moonshine's production. So here's all the teams. I just want to introduce the team to you and say, well, that Jan will be looking after you, keep an eye on you while I'm gone. So whatever you do, don't try to escape and don't do anything foolish. So I'm giving Jan all the codes to your collars in case you get out of line. So don't do that.
I mean, I won't misbehave, Mr. Shepherd. I'm good, man. You know that, and I'll prove it to you, and then maybe you let me have a look at your bookie book. Hey.
No.
I mean, I don't see the harm. It's just a book, right? I mean, I got a book. You can have a look at my book if you want. Like, think of it like an exchange of knowledge, that kind of thing,
Isn't that a colouring book?
Shut your fucking mouth, Courtney. You don't know nothing about my book. Yeah, okay, it's a colouring book.
I sent you a messenger. I sent you a message on Messenger, Dave.
I know. I fucking know. I'm trying my best. Ha.
He really wants to look at that book. He's getting withdrawal. Big time.
I mean, use your own judgment, Jan. I mean, I can understand. I mean, it's quite... you do get used to them, though. They grow on you. I know. I mean, you look around, you think, what the fuck? Is any of this real? I mean, this seems ludicrous tonight. they do grow on you, and I mean, perhaps Tommy's got a good heart, I think. But yes, just use your own judgment. But mate, they do grow on you. Don't worry too much about Tommy. I'm sure he's harmless. Homicide, Tommy?
Oh,
You wouldn't
sure.
do anything to us. You're loyal as well. He's loyal. Tommy's loyal.
I'm a good man. I never did hurt nobody that didn't, deserve it first. And then I got good teeth.
They're fine polished wood. And he goes, well, I mean, and didn't you bring him up? Didn't you recruit him personally? I heard.
You were led to me, Jan.
You brought him up from.
Yeah, I didn't seek him out for no reason, man. Even
Yeah.
my ancestors pointed me in his direction. So
Exactly.
the man is integral to something.
He's important somehow. Your fates are linked. I fear.
All the signs point to it, Shepard. You gotta listen to the wind. You gotta listen to this and smell the ancestors. All that, fancy shindiggery. You gotta sometimes take a moment to smell the corn in the morning and understand that we were brought together for a reason. And that reason, I think, is to share the book. Give me the book. I mean, let me have a look at the book, please.
You're not having the book, Tommy. Don't make me turn you into jelly, man.
I mean, I just want to have a little looky look. I don't want to keep it. You can stay with me while I look at it,
No, man. The book is too dark. It's too dark for any of us, man.
Well, fuck you. I seen darker shit than you ever seen, Jan. I seen darker things than my mama's own asshole. So, don't you be telling me what I can and can't handle, because, power corrupts, and absolute corrupt power makes corrupt men do things with the shoes. I don't know. I can handle it, Jan. Trust me. I know where I come from, and I know what I could do with the book, and I'm just here to help. Hi, my friend, Mr. Shepard. Does anyone have
What do you know about circles, Tommy?
Circles? I know a lot of things about circles.
Can you draw circles, Tommy?
Yeah. I mean, I put some on your helmet for you. Look, there's a couple of 3 of them together in a little cluster there on your helmet that I painted for you, Courtney.
What?
I painted your helmet.
Lovely.
I remember, it wasn't that long ago.
Right, Tommy's going to be here, isn't he?
Tommy's always
the rest of us go down to. This is our character, but Tommy's going to be here when we all go down, isn't he? He's not coming with us to the.
No. So you've chosen your squad. So your squad is you've gone with Nixios, Quintius, who are leading the expedition. You've got Alexa, who's going. You've got Arnold, and you've also got a 5th member who's going to be one of the stormtroopers, a female stormtrooper who's going to be kind of dressed up to be perhaps.
That's right. You didn't want me to play both my characters at once, did you?
Her name's Stormy.
No, and I don't think you wanted either, right? So so you. I thought it'd be a bit weird and a bit difficult. I gave you the option here today, and I'm glad you haven't taken it because it doesn't make much sense. But sometimes I like to give you the option.
But so Jan and Tommy will be here. So, well, Tommy, maybe you are here to read the book after all. Maybe I need to think on it, man, and maybe we can do it in a safer environment than just in your quarters, willy-nilly.
I mean, that's fine. It's your book at the end of the day. You get to set the rules. I just want to have a little look is all. But, if you want to ask me about circles, I know all about the circles. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
What am I doing, man? What am I saying?
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to you, Jan. I wasn't speaking to you, Jan. Sorry, it's just sometimes I get confused.
I know it'd be your friend who really want to look at the book, so maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we can work something out, man. Maybe you tell me what you know about forbidden circles, and we can help you look at the book.
I mean, I can. I could find out. I know a little about circles, but if you really want to know about forbidden circles, I can find out more. But this
this ain't the place. You know, I need a little privacy is all.
You see, he grows on you. I mean, at the first I thought the same thing. I thought, oh my God, is this my life now with these people? But you warned him. Tommy's one of the team. He's a specialist. He's got special skills. Tommy has a role to play, I'm sure of it.
Do you want some cheese?
Yeah, I've got any left?
Yeah, I don't know why, but this bag of cheese never seems to run dry. Please help yourself.
Oh yes, I mean, it's not bad.
It's pretty good cheese.
Nixius helps himself to a bit of the bio cheese.
Shepard, you want some bio cheese?
No, man.
You don't know what you're missing.
Me not a fan of the cheese. Me no way. Okay, I don't trust the cheese. Never did. So they no cheese on Dusk, man.
Does it?
They no dairy products.
We've learned some new information. There's no cheese on Dusk.
That's canon now. I don't know why.
No cheese. There's no gas and kidney.
The cheese it curdles in the most unnatural way.
Does it make you poop, Shepard? Are you lactose intolerant? Is that the problem?
Well, no, me not really thought about that.
I mean, if you grew up in a place where there ain't no cheese, chances are you grew up lactose intolerant.
No cheese in living memory, man. Like, me probably not got the DNA genetics to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they always say about Asian people that they can smell milk on the white man. Maybe it's the same for Dusk people. They can smell cheese on the bio folk.
I can smell the cheese on you, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've been carrying this cheese around for months, and it just don't go away. And sometimes I wake up in the night, and it's on my face.
It's remarkably stable, isn't it? The cheese.
It is. It's just it just keeps growing. I think it just keeps getting
longevity.
I think it might be reproducing, although I ain't sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rub a little between my fingers, got some kind of perpetual cheese, man. Most unnatural. Like that shit in Ghostbusters, the goo. Yeah. Ooze. That's what I imagine the cheese to be. Some kind of psychokinetic cheese.
I mean, I think it's just cheese. I think you're reading too much into it.
I'm gonna take a little. I'm not gonna do a seance with cheese. Let's not go there. Just leave the cheese to be cheese.
We don't need to dwell. We don't need to dwell on the cheese. We don't need to get bogged down in cheese. We can, I mean, there are other things to do on board the ship. Lots of important decisions to be made. It's big plans. We don't need to just get bogged down in a sack of bio cheese, do we?
If the mutants got comms, did we get them comms? Did we get them
That's a good question. I love it when you ask me specific questions. I don't think you've got them comms.
I think questions come up before and we didn't.
And I think I think you maybe talked about it and then forgot about it. I do think Tommy
got comms.
I think Tommy
definitely has. Yeah.
I don't think that the slaves have comms. Jeeves now has comms. You finally got that sorted. But I don't think that 33 or Nick or... I mean, who are they going to call?
Ghostbusters!
Well, because Yarn's not going to hang out here 24/7, is he? So,
I'm sure if you ask Alexa, she could source you some combis. They're not a precious...
Well, even if Tommy can call, but somebody else is going to have to do it as well.
I think we'll say Tommy's got a comm.
I definitely have. I've just checked my sheet.
Nice one. But if you want comms together sorted, I mean, Ixie says, I mean, maybe you shouldn't give him I don't know, I mean, let Tommy be the focus point. If they need comms out, they can ask Tommy. If you're not there, well Tommy and Courtney has comms as well, so perhaps one of those two can act responsibly when you're not there.
As long as they can radio mute if they need or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You can't. I don't expect you to be here all the time. I mean, I just think you being around. I find it comforting to know that.
We got shit to do, man. But we're not going down to the planet, so I keep an eye on things.
Well, it's more of a space station, but yes, I appreciate that. So
it's not a moon.
Ooh.
It's
When
a
are we
space
going?
station.
I don't believe you've been tasked, Courtney, to go on the trade expedition. I don't know why. Maybe there must be a reason, but I think maybe more appropriate people have been chosen to go instead. There's a limited number of spaces, and yes, sorry, Courtney, but you haven't been selected to go on the expedition.
It's because they don't trust you, Courtney, you know, because you're all crazy and shit.
She's going to fix him with a look and sort of well up with a bit of psychic energy as if she was going to set him on fire.
Hey, I just tell it like I see it. You know, you can't blame a man for speaking the truth. And that's what I do, Jan. I speak the truth. Remember
I
that.
think there's nothing normal about that cheese of yours. I think it's unholy.
I mean, I'm quite sure, Tommy, that you don't always speak the truth. I mean, you said something rather odd about a series of beans. I don't think any of that was true at all. I'm just, I'm sorry. You don't always speak the truth. And then there's that other thing with the shoes. I mean, it's just, no.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. That must have been another Tommy Lee. You know, I mean, it's a common name around my way.
I don't think I'd get you mixed up, Tommy. Not with anyone.
I mean, I'm a very average-looking man. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
I blend into a crowd. You know, with the teeth in the back.
Struggle to pick you up out of a lineup, I think.
Yeah,
it would be a challenge.
Yeah, it's not like my brother who had one gigantic hand. You know, I don't have any identifying marks like that.
Why did he have a gigantic hand?
He took it from someone else. His name was Kevin.
What was your name, your brother? Kevin? Kevin
Lee.
The heavy-handed.
Kevin Lee Dangerfield. Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, okay.
He had a big hand.
Same mother, same father.
What?
Well, if he's your brother, I mean, you must be, or at least have one of the same parents, Tommy? No?
Yeah, I guess. Sure, why not? It makes sense, I suppose.
We don't need to dwell on Tommy's family tree or the cheese. We can just move things along.
Let's do that.
Big arcing questions, decisions. It's we don't have to stay here in the musky smell of this lizard and cheese and dwell for too long. We could just. I mean, we've done our introductions. I mean, Jan will keep an eye on you. Jan, if you've got any problems, just ask Jan. He'll tell you what to do, Tommy.
Yeah,
He'll keep you out of trouble.
I'm just gonna Shepard, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Just checking the comms, just making sure they work okay.
An attempt was recently made on our life, Tommy, man. So be careful who you trust, and call me if you get worried about anything.
Hey, if you need someone to watch your back, Shepard, I can be that person. I'll watch your back. I got my gun. I'm just gonna start waving my revolver around a bit recklessly, and I got my stick. And you need someone, right behind you to scare off the bad guys, I guess. I'm your man. I can shoot straighter than a straight stick that's not got any bends in it or nothing. Real straight shooter, me.
That's quite straight.
Yeah, it's very straight, Miss Courtney. Yeah, Score. You see me fight. You know how it is.
Yes, you are. You certainly have a unique style.
You mind if I have a bit of that cheese? Says 33.
Oh yeah, sure, buddy. I'll get you some cheese. Here you go.
Don't want to give me the bag. You see his eyes light up.
No, because I think you'd eat the whole fucking thing, and then none of us would have any cheese. But if you let me keep the bag, I can give you some cheese every now and then, and everyone has some cheese.
You suspect you might have caught him in his ruse, Tommy Lee, but he accepts your small amount of cheese.
Yeah, it's a good fistful of cheese I'm going to give him, too. It's a good, sizable chunk.
Yeah, I really want it. And he takes it greedily and hungrily. Oh, there's been some good lines tonight. He takes the fistful of cheese and he starts to cram it into his gullet. A saliva dribbles down his side of his mouth, and he eats it like an animal, with little consideration, but getting it down his gullet as fast as possible. He barely chews it.
It's like
Carly's gonna wait until he burps, and then just dab his chin. There you go. You missed a bit.
He looks up at Courtney with something not unlike love. You've given him chicken sandwich before, and he's basically you've basically bought him mind, body, and soul for the price of a chicken sandwich.
If we can rasp you up a bit more than that, big lad. Like that. You know what I mean?
And you hear his belly rumble. You get through, I think, multiple portions of nutrient paste every day, but he's never sated. It's not enough. It's not enough paste.
he's a big boy. He sure is.
Needs a lot of paste.
I'm going to get my breakfast brought to the room, and then I'm going to give most of it to 33 because she doesn't need to eat much. She's like quite dainty. It's like there you go, tack in.
So you can come. Your comms into service. It might take a little while for it to come here, but you can comms in.
Yeah, I'll comms in.
Okay. So okay. So Nixie says, well, we don't need to dwell on sandwiches and cheese and sticks. Perhaps we should just all move along now. But it's been good. It's been educational. I'm glad we have it. I mean, it's a shame that Lizardman Cletus is getting his beauty sleep. It's a pity, real pity.
He's a sleepy boy.
But we'll let him know.
Courtney's going to blush at the mention of his name and go, "Oh, it is a bit of a shame, yeah."
Look, no one says that. The wind seems to say. Okay, guys. So I'm probably just going to go get a drink.
Yeah,
that's same.
And we might, we'll maybe leave a bit of RPG there and decide what you can do. Power play for Self 54.
Okay. Courtney's going to work on her. Going to work on her psychics. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's a tape room, I think. How are you, James? Anyway, you all right?
Yes, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's been ages since I've seen you.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Long time. We don't really get to have much of a chat when we're doing the D&D. So
yeah,
so involved and stuff.
Yeah, much quieter, isn't it? Like these little games.
Yeah, everything going good. Like,
yeah, can you remember where you were? You worked at Roxby, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I worked at Roxby before. Yeah.
So yeah,
are you there now? Like,
I've changed the days on Roxby.
Oh,
so
cool.
I've done my first 2 day shifts there. So I'm off nights now.
How are you finding it? Is it it's all right?
It's all right. Yeah, it's all a bit of a trip. I'd actually worked where I had worked on nights for 9.5 years.
That's a long time on nights.
It is. Yeah, it is. Just straight nights, and it was I'm reaching that age where it's finally catching up with me. So
of course.
Just by the end of working 2 or 3, like I'm feeling a little bit knackered at the end of a shift, and that never used to be the case. So now it's about time I went on to days, and it's different
good,
vibe.
It's better. It's get a bit better work-life balance, really. I suppose with that.
I think I should do, yeah. And I get my weekends back as well, so.
Oh, good, yeah.
I get the Saturdays, whereas before I was always sleeping, getting ready for a Saturday shift, or coming back after a Friday one and sleeping Saturday anyway. So I was always sleeping on the Saturday unless I got the day off.
It's not ideal, is it? Like,
no, because I only get every other Saturday anyway, so I get half my Saturdays. But all of I'm still playing Malaphone, and
cool.
I like to go to tournaments, but I missed all the tournaments last year because they're always on the weekends. They're always on a Saturday or a Sunday, and it was very rare that my holidays were kind of coincided with it. So I've already kind of pre-booked 3 anyway, so that should be cool.
Yeah. How do you find you get on and stuff in the tournament?
I usually come completely mid-table, and I probably win 1, draw 1, lose 1. But as long as I break even, then it's experience for later. There's so many.
I found that with it as well. Like with tournaments, it's like I always hit somewhere middle on the road, like.
Yeah.
So.
It's there's so many variables that unless you're constantly doing it and on top of everything, like it's very difficult to. Oh, mind you, there's mid-prize tables, or there's tables that prizes even. There's prizes for being like best in of a particular faction, like best orc player or best marine player or something like that. So, or prizes for playing in a certain way. Just using the same kind of team all the way through rather than the best team for the situation or whatever. So, there's little things, mini games to play at and experience as well. It's just nice to meet everyone. There's quite a good community in Malifaux.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
people that all all recognise each other and just get on really well. It's very
cool.
Very helpful and sharing community and stuff. So.
Oh, that's good. That's what you want, really. That's what you want for gaming. That's good. So, do you have do you go to a club or anything like that?
I go to Hull's Angels now and then. So my friend,
I've heard these Hull's Angels.
Do you remember Tom Benstead from the?
Yeah, I know Tom. Yeah,
John's brother.
He
lives in Hull
last year. So he brought some Necromunda books. I was on one of the Necromunda Facebook pages. I'm on one of those, and he was basically giving them away. I was like, I'll have them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
he's
a copy of Necromunda, so
he's another knee-jerk collector. He just sees shit and buys it, and then moves it on. And Lee Walstow as well. He's another lad who I meet now and then from school who was in my year. Wagger.
Wagger. Yeah, I remember Wagger. Yeah,
good old Wagger Stagger.
Yeah. So we still we meet up now and then. We game. We can also kind of game. There's a 2D version of it that we can play online. So imagine playing 40k and it's just 2D over bird's eye view of everything, and then but when you move things around, it's all a certain amount of regulated movement, so you can play anyone from anywhere. So actually, during lockdown, that was quite useful as well. That
definitely,
and it really took off. So we can play anyone we want, anywhere we want. So
that's really cool
fun as well.
Yeah, it's good. It's I like it's a bit of a transition of some games into onto online as well, which is good. Like your tabletop stuff, which is quite a good thing in case you have another. In case COVID-14 comes along, or COVID-19, COVID-20, or whatever.
When we're all in our underground bunkers.
Return COVID. I mean, it was invaluable during COVID, right, to be able to do a bit of online gaming, right? So we.
And this is kind of when we started RPGing, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a saving grace, really.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We were quite lucky during COVID because Alison got furloughed for months from where she was, so she just got to chill out pretty much, and then I went to work as normal because I'm in care, and then I live next door to Fox Hills Park in town, so we could take the dog for a walk whenever we wanted, and it was no different to us really, except for wearing
good. Yeah, that's good. I got furloughed for about 4 months, which was nice. So got loads done. Yeah, it was brilliant. So I kind of want COVID-20 to come along, really.
Bring the next fucking COVID.
A bit selfish of me, but I passed my CBT, so I've got a motorbike now, so which is good. So
cool, man.
Yeah, which is good. Which I fell off on Sunday. I had a Sunday shift. That was in.
You need to be careful, mate.
I know. I attempted the snow. I was like,
it's not two-wheel weather, man.
No, it's not. I got just around the corner, and then I it just slid out from underneath me. I was like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? It didn't hurt. I was like, oh shit. So I landed on snow, so it was all right. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going to make this. So they came out and picked me up, which was good. So I don't mind. So that's good. Which is good. And then I went in and just did what I always do, which is just completely smash out more work than they expect me to do, and then without breaking a sweat. Whereas you've got the other guys there that are just sort of like snowflakes. If I'm putting it honestly, I don't understand the weakness. Anyway.
Right, guys, so it's been a long day for me. I don't know if I told you. I think you maybe joined the call a bit late, Johnny. But I've done this meeting with customers today, and these guys are fucking bigwigs, right? You know, they're obviously they're moving in different circles. I was saying to these other guys, so I did my PowerPoint presentation, which I'm not overly fond of public speaking, but I'm getting a bit better at it now. But it's a boring topic. And they didn't really want to hear it, right? And sometimes you can tell, like that, you know. But they tolerated it. But they're all sat there and they all had the poker face on, didn't give anything away, so they weren't even kind of laughing or engaging. You know what I mean? There was no real. It was a tough crowd, put it that way.
Did you try any quips? Any quips or any jokes, scientific-based jokes? Or...
Not really. I'm not really, but I did make a few little light-hearted things about the fact that we had to basically plough through this together in a sense, and try not to make a bit of a light of the fact that I know it's a bit of a boring subject, and I know they don't want to, but we're still going to work our way through it together. So I made a little bit of light jesting at the fact that we're nearly there, guys. We nearly made it through the product range. As I go through about our 14 or 15 coolant, different variants of coolants, I go through them one-on-one. But I was saying to these other guys earlier that they had about £40,000. Well, no, they probably had around £40,000 worth of watches between them. That's they're the sort of kind of, you know what I mean, kind of power status. I'm wearing a Rolex, and I said, I really like that watch, and the guy I was working with said, the RRP for that one is 22 grand. So I probably paid less than 22 grand mind, but and I personally can't conceive spending that much money on a
watch. That is insane.
These are some of the people who are at the very top. You know what I mean? The kind of let's say the capitalist classes. Let's say perhaps. I do get to see some of these kind of captains of industry. Let's say people right at the top of their particular chemical industries, and they like to show off in a sense by wearing this kind of bling. So the watch was. I would love to have it, but I can't imagine having a possession like that. 22 grand, inconceivable. So it's been a long day. And I feel like I made it pretty good through my session. So I'm now treat myself to a beer and some other non-disclosed naughtiness, which anyone who knows me.
I don't blame you.
So anyway, but I'm happy to carry on for a little bit. I just want to check everyone else. If you want to carry on, we can carry on. I know we're not saying, but I'm happy to carry on and still go. And the advantage of power play also is when someone does drop out, you can carry on. But when we get to a certain point, I will want Hayden back. The next bit of it needs to be all there, and I'm hoping that. It makes it difficult sometimes because there's some bits I really want him there, and if he's not there, then I feel like he has to be there. But that's we can. But we don't have to do that just yet. So just give me a minute. I'm just gonna beat myself, and then we can carry on, and I'll go through what you want to do with your Cell 54 characters in day 14. Okay. And we'll make a note of that, and then we'll go through each of the bits in day 14 a bit in more detail. And just one moment.
Un momento.
What's with you now? Go and have a look. What's up with me? What the fuck does that mean? Go and have a look. Buy a litter tray. Oh right. Yeah. See, that was a coherent sentence.
Sounds just like me and my wife, Dave.
I'll be back in a minute.
Right.
Tell her to eat some bacon.
Exactly that. Yeah, gaming wise, I've just been doing bolt, like as you know, I've been heavily going at it with the bolt action. I do a game every every month or so. The next game's coming up. I've got a grudge match against my mate Tony, who's he's undefeated. He's been undefeated since he beat me. I've thrown down the gauntlet. I've basically challenged him to a game, but unfortunately, me being me, I've told him my plans. Told everybody my plans already. I've been painting he's trying to min max, I suppose, with stuff. So I'm painting at the moment 3 Panzer 4s. Yeah. So
Nice, Johnny.
cheers, man. Like, so I'm working on those at the minute. I can fit them into like that's to be half my force of like 1,500 points. I just wanted 3 tanks because he generally feels like a couple of like light tanks and then like a heavier tank. So I thought, right, I'm gonna try and match him for the number of tanks this time. I can't really use any of the big scary sort of tiger tanks or anything like that because they're too expensive in points. And I find that they don't really perform. But I did use a Sturmhorse or Sturmtiger, which was fantastic and blew up an entire factory with it. In the first shot it took, blew up a factory. It had his artillery observer in it as well, which was brilliant because then he couldn't bomb the shit out of me. And then I used mine and it absolutely caused carnage and chaos to blow up loads of his guys because he was sort of bottlenecked. He was using Americans and they were sort of coming up the street and faced with like an 88 flat cannon and a Tiger tank sort of covering this street, and it was messy. It was really, really messy. It was just carnage. It was like a shooting gallery for them. So I had that, and there was like house-to-house fighting and flamethrowers, and goodness knows what else. Artillery flying everywhere, buildings exploding. It was absolutely horrific.
You're in your happy place, Johnny.
Oh, I was. It was a whitewash. I think you do it in number of units killed, and I think the final score was 16-4 to me in terms of units completely obliterated. So I was quite pleased with that. It was a well executed strategy. But we'd agreed beforehand to play an urban game, and I was like, right, well, if I'm playing an urban game, I'm going to take all the nastiest building destroying stuff that I can, flamethrowers, and I even had like this little Goliath mine thing that's like a tracked mine. It didn't do anything in the game. Just the fact that I had it there was like a deterrent for him because you can sort of remote control. Yeah, it's more of a terror weapon than anything else. It's like you've got it there. You can move it over with your infantry, and you can just unleash it on anything and blow it up. You put it in buildings, and in the end, it missed. It didn't do anything, but the fact that it was there was quite cool for me.
Cool. Okay, guys. So I'll go through you then and ask you what you're gonna do on your day 14. So Nixios, your last day of power play. Any loose ends you want to tidy up on the ship before you'll go on board Ridge Station for the trade mission? Any thoughts on what you might want to do for your last day of power play? You don't have to do anything, but
no.
But the option is there. It's a resource. The resource is time, and if you're not using it, then yeah, it's a resource that's gone to waste.
Remember what Nix was doing with his power plays?
So last time, I don't really, like last time what he did, I think in the last session, is he did some research and he was researching an alien race called the Styrics.
Oh, that's
And these are a race of, and I gave you some, I should probably put that down in a handout. And these are one of the Xenos that you are very likely, you may see at Ridge Station. You're very likely to meet them. And so they may be, someone they're like inhabitants, nomadic aliens who live in the Coronis Expanse, generally thought to be untrustworthy, and
they will rip you off basically.
They are traders, and they look like nothing so much like a skinned or skinless dog embryo is how they appear, swathed in bone-coloured robes.
Yeah, I believe they are often described as gangling, multi-eyed creatures that were first encountered by Old Man Alexander. They're wanderers, they're pirates, they're greedy, they're curious, they're hoarders, they're scavengers, that sort of thing, right?
Perfect, Dave. I like the skinless dog embryos quite a bit.
Oh, that's in my notes as well, yeah.
Yeah,
Dave, I've told you before, and I'll say it again, it's totally true. You have better and more comprehensive notes of my game than I do, and that's the truth.
They hate the Eldar in big capital letters, which means I was planning on using that. I don't know how.
I don't recall that, but it's probably true because it's in your notes.
Dressed as an Eldar.
Probably true.
They worship.
They
worship Quintius as a god. It says here.
said this to my mate Aidan the other day when we went out to your gig, Dave,
Oh, yeah.
and he said something. I said, "Well, you can basically tell me anything at this point. You can say, oh, Alan, on this particular night you did this, that, and the other." And I can't. I've got no defence because I've got wasted so many times in so many separate encounters with Aidan that he can kind of feed me any lie, and I can't. I can't fight it off at all.
Yeah.
I'm defenceless against it. You go, "Oh, you did this, that, and the other. And, you swapped your shoes with a tramp.
You ate a live dog.
For a joke." And I can't, I'm not confident enough to defend myself against it because, there's a lot of gaps in that memory. So
Yeah.
it's a similar principle. Anyway, so Tommy Lee, I'll let you think about it, James. You don't even have to. Sorry, Nixie, you don't have to decide anything even yet. You can even just mull it over and retcon it. But we'll leave it there if you want to have a little think.
Maybe some more. I don't know if there's any more research we can do into the dog people, or if I could go learn language or something to give me an edge in.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a bit of a recap. So one thing that Nixios is in general good at is his intelligence. He's an adept, so he's good at research. That's one of the things he exceeds at. But I'll just give you a quick reminder on what you can do in power play. So we've got some little things here. So I'll just go through what Nixios has got. I think one of the other things you did some research. Just you got some background on previous trips into the Expanse. So you found out some backstory. I think it was you who found out a bit about old man Alexander and coming back out here and some of the backstory on House Alexander. And if I was a good GM, I would have probably put this into a handout for you to recap, but it's probably been lost to the whims of time.
So I've looked up the dog people. Now I'm going to look up previous interactions with them and see if I can leverage any of that.
Okay. So I will just go through.
Benefit come the trading with them.
Cool. No worries. But I will just go through. I've got a little handout for the power play. Just go through it and just see if anything tempts you away. So it says here, Nixios is well suited to several of the options in power play. He's a skilled adept, so he can advance research in the librarian. Like all characters, he can work on personal development. And you can also train other crew members to pilot. So the options you have available, the options that you have are training statistics, which is always slow, so you can improve your own statistics. You can improve your reputation with the various factions on board, and these are options that are available to everyone as well. That's a charisma-based, a fellowship-based sort of test. You can train your skills, so you can improve your own skills. Crafting, so you haven't got much crafting. You've only got copyist, I think. So it's not really much you can leverage from copyist, but it's an option. So you could use you could do some crafting with copyist. You can train. You can train pilots. You can investigate. You can do social investigation, which everyone can do. So you can investigate leads. You can try and find information about side quests or new side quests, or you can improve ship morale. These are options that are also available to everyone. And you have research, which you are pretty skilled at because this is, you're an adept, right? So one of the best things you are good at is researching in the librarian. So you're efficient at that task, and that's what you've mainly done up to now, I think.
I'd kind of like to do some more. There's an option to do some more research on the place we're going.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to get maybe a bit of background on Ridge Station then before you go. I mean, that's a great idea. Really, it makes a lot of sense. So if we do some research on Ridge Station, I think that's a good idea.
Previous interactions there. And King.
Okay, so this will be one of those where hopefully, if I'm a good GM, I'll do some work in between now and the next game, and maybe write something up, right? But we'll see how your role goes and see how well you do it in the actual role. But I think that's a good idea, James. And in general, if you can think of something, then just say it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of freedom in this sort of section in the game where if you've got an idea that you think's cool, just run with it, mate. So you don't need to ever dwell on it or But I think the research is a pretty good one. So that's Nixios. Tommy Lee. What's Tommy going to do for his day 14 of power play?
So in my power play notes, it says I can research.
and I can do research in the librarium. It also says I have another form of research.
It's true.
Yes, and I think I know what's meant by that.
You do. We all do. We all know.
No,
Everyone
nobody knows, Alan. Nobody
Everyone
knows.
Everyone knows. Not these meta chicken kind of people. They don't know. They wouldn't know.
No.
They wouldn't.
Space research.
So I would kind of like to
Research.
do some
Research.
mystical.
It's not as good as coup de Greece, but it's not. It's not bad. It's not as good as coup de Greece.
Not bad.
Coup de Greece was pretty good.
It was.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
It was good, man. I mean, I had to doff my virtual characters. So, is there? Could you want to give me some specific ideas? Exactly what you're trying to research?
Yeah,
Me, or
so,
would you? You can always send it to me in private if you prefer.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll send you it in private. Hang on.
Oh, good night.
Right, guys.
Bye.
Leave me.
Put me here next to the door. Glad. And so on. Then tomorrow.
Leave a little bit.
Hey, Tom. Let's get some.
Sorry, I preempted you there a bit there.
Yeah. Right, hang on. I'm just gonna. I've already written a message, but because of that, what you sent me, I'm going to rewrite my message.
These are some of my favourite interactions, by the way.
No, I will be able to. What happened to the goats? We'll just do that.
What kind of chili? The London was chili. Just do that. What with the salmon? No, I don't want chicken again.
Okay.
So, but it's so easy to make it like this as well. Yeah.
I feel that we've reached an understanding, Tommy. Courtney.
Yeah. What was I doing? What was I doing before? Was I working on the psychic?
I haven't a fucking clue. Let's check. We've got a record of that. I keep records. Let's check the record. I mean,
I might.
No, it's all right, Dave. I've got records. I'm sure. Please tell me if you've got any notes. Please let me know. But I think